Good evening. Welcome to TCH Live from Texas Card House in Austin. William Live in New York knit with you once again on this Monday, October 9th, 2023. It's Columbus Day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day.
She's asking if
And
you want an emoji next
it's a good
to
day for poker.
I want to put an emoji next to somebody's
Going to
name.
be getting
Because I can
started
do
in
that
just a
now.
moment here.
It's
2-5 Nomad Holden with some $10 kilo bomb pots. And that is how we're going to get started here. You see Carly's got the annies collected already. $10 from each player. Should have a good lineup for you this evening. Hope you've all had a great weekend. Hope if you've had a long weekend, you enjoyed your long weekend. I was lucky in that regard. My day job gave us the day off. So, little 3-day weekend.
Why were you going to give Johnny an emoji? Oh, Johnny from
And I think cards are just about to get going here. As you file in, be sure to hit that like button.
That the same
Let
shirt?
the algorithm know TCH Live is on, and you're enjoying it, and others should enjoy it. I just hit like. Here we go. Here's the cards. Cards are coming.
I'll do aces and nines.
See people in the chat. Poker Monkey, Ted, Frank, Rena. People getting the gambles on. Ace-5 deuce with spades. And 7-3 deuce with clubs.
2 check,
Okay, let's see who's got black cards. Kevin with a club draw.
3 check, 4 check.
Not much going for Beholden. Johnny Bravo. Aces and kings.
1 bet 50. 2 fold, 3 fold.
Baby spade draw for MH with the wheel with the straight redraw.
7 fold.
Makes it 50. Has a little piece of the bottom too. Johnny calling. He's got a pair of aces up top, pair of kings on the bottom. Heads up we go 2 turns. Make that 3 aces for Johnny Bravo. 8 on the bottom, giving him an 8 to go with his kings that are playing. Check, check, a queen and a queen. And that puts MH in position to scoop with his straight there.
170.
Johnny Bravo's trips not improving.
Call.
MH potted it to 170, got quickly called by Johnny Bravo. MH with the wheel up top. MH with, believe it or not, just a pair of deuces on the bottom. That feels wrong. What did he have on the bottom? Threes and deuces. He had threes and deuces. He had 2 pair, which is more than 1 pair. So MH with the early scoop. Gets out to an early lead as far as the win-loss numbers.
10, 20, double straddle.
See some familiar faces there. Beholden, MH, Kevin Bones. Familiar faces. Of course, our dealer, Carly, a very familiar face on this program. Familiar face back here, Mel pressing the buttons on the production side.
8 fold,
MH with the 7-5 suited, gonna raise to 50. 20 was put on. The 10 and the 20 were put on. Kevin with some better diamonds and the small blind and a nice spot to 3-bet. And he does just that. Makes it 200. Johnny Bravo with the offsuit king queen, cold calling from the $10 straddle.
1 fold, heads up.
7-5 gets out of the way. We got some king queen on king queen action. Johnny Bravo with the offsuit variety and both players flopping a pair of kings and tens with the queen. And both players have backdoor flush draws. Kevin continuing for 135.
4 calls.
Johnny calls. Turns another 10, chop it up. 10's full of kings, both players now. Kevin checking. Gonna let Johnny do the betting here. Would certainly hate to bet and get raised somehow. Aces, not impossible for either player. Quads are gonna be tough to have. Not a lot of quads available, like ace 10 of spades maybe.
Call.
250 from Kevin does get called, or 250 from Johnny gets called by Kevin. Jack on the end. Check, check. 10's full of kings, 10's full of kings. Choppity chop chop. All right, so get this chopped up real quick. What you all think about football this past weekend? What games did you guys have your eyes on? I was getting very disappointed by my Denver Broncos. Can't even handle the Jets. Now, yeah, so, yeah, Jaguars beating Buffalo. What's with that? Yeah, Mel's a Jags fan. And a Jacoby Myers fan, okay. Yeah, so tonight I'm going to be a Davante Adams fan myself. You all know Doug, he's played on this stream, the Jets fan, somebody who actually is brave enough to identify as a Jets fan publicly in front of the entire internet. I give him mad props for that. And I'm playing him in fantasy this week, and I need 14.6 from Davante Adams to beat him. And the good news is I think he's going to play tonight. There was some question about that. So the computer kind of barfed on this hand, unfortunately. So we're just flying blind here. C3 opens up to 35. We saw Bones defend the $10 straddle. Mystery hands all around. Queen, Jack 10, 2 hearts. Certainly either player could have this board. See a $30 C-bet. C2 actually, not C3, my mistake. Bones making the call. 5 of diamonds. Doesn't straighten the board, it does put up a second flush draw. I believe that's Kevin in C2 if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes I am. Disclaimer, sometimes I'm mistaken. 75 is going to get the job done.
Thank you.
We'll get on to the next hands. And I think the computer might have puked on this hand as well. I'm told that we are working on it. Apologies for the tech problems here. The computer decides to take a long weekend is what happens. And that does happen sometimes. So Bear with us, it'll get sorted out real soon.
Oh, it's frozen.
Good to go?
You're good to go.
2, 5, 10 on once again.
8 fold. 1 raise.
Seat
30
7,
total.
repping Buffalo.
3 calls.
Tough day for them in London yesterday,
6 calls.
losing to Jacksonville.
7 calls. 4 players. I'm just gonna spin out
10-9, another pretty coordinated flop here. Carly bringing the action flops this evening.
1 bet 40.
You can see the seat bet from seat 1. I believe that was MH, and that's $40. Probably has something here. It'd be pretty brave to not have anything at all.
7.
So much available. We do see the call from Beholden in seat 3. Ace of clubs, that's another flush draw available. Doesn't complete any straights that weren't there already. King Jack was already there.
1 bet 150.
150 now. This could also be aces up. Ace queen certainly within the realm of possibility here. Or a good draw. In fact, your nut heart draws just made top pair. So I'm even more convinced that MH has something here. Beholden does call the 150. The river is a total dud, the 4 of diamonds. All the drawers break out. Do we see the 3rd barrel from MH is the question here. Just thinking about this.
1 bet.
That is how many dollars?
100.
That is, I think, about 600 or so. Hard to tell. So, pretty big bet with respect to the pot size. This is like pot-ish, maybe a little bit over pot. I truthfully lost count a little bit. And Beholden gonna put the call in, and it's a set of 9s for MH.
700.
And he's going to put out the chips there, so he's just paying the bill. That looks like it was 700 actually, assuming that those are stacks of 20. That is the standard size.
Thank you.
Barry Hammer, JTM, good to see you all. So glad you could join us on this Monday. And playing a little Hold'em this evening, and hopefully the computer decides to play with us real soon. I know that that is being worked on. You know what? When you're playing the actual game, you don't get to see the cards. Apart from your own cards, you don't get to see your own whole cards. So let's consider this a learning exercise. Certainly, I'm not surprised to see the set get turned over there when he's going bet, bet, bet on that board.
Yeah, our screen is just froze.
And the best part with all the draws missing is you can definitely have some bluffs there.
3 call, 4 fold, 6 raise.
You see Beholden limp the 10. Bones is going to make it 50, it looks like. Okay, so fold, fold. Not sure who's in 8 right now. We see Kristen getting under the table there. I think this is an attempt at unplugging, replugging, something like that. Hey, that's how we fix our tech problems. You know, have you tried turning it off and on again? As the IT crowd famously would say, this British sitcom from a number of years ago. IT desk, have you tried turning it off and on again? I think that's what Kristen's just attempted here. We'll see if she was successful.
Two-fold, three-fold, four-fold.
Not yet,
6
unfortunately.
raised, 35 total, 7-fold,
Bones raising once more, making it 35 over the 10. We have all of our greatest minds on the other side working on this problem right now, I assure you all. We're doing our best to get these whole cards back. Ace, queen, deuce, 2 hearts. Checks over the bones, the opener. It's a quick check fold.
Thank you. Live 10.
Letting 1K pro.
Adding 1K. Gotcha. No, can you hear me right now? Or you're on the phone?
2, 5, 10.
6.
It does sound like they've got it going again. I don't know exactly when on the stream we get the whole cards back, but it does sound like we've got the whole cards back at some point. Apologies again for the technical hiccup to start the show. Computer's got a case of the Mondays.
3 long. 4 raised, 35 total.
Here we go. We got whole cards. We got whole cards.
8 fold.
We got Johnny Bravo raising with 4 deuce.
1 fold. 2 call. 3 call. 3 players.
Johnny's 35 getting called by Kevin
No.
and by B. Hold'em. And that is going to be top 2 for B. Hold'em.
2 check. 3 check.
Gutter for Johnny. And this is the flop for the pre-flop raiser. 35 the C-bet. And Kevin,
2 call.
pretty light holding here, is going to float. Very surprising call there. $35 with king 9, no pair, no draw.
3 raised.
B. Hold'em
125.
deciding to check raise now. Makes it 125 on ace 10-5 rainbow. No flush draws available. Some gut shots maybe.
2 fold. Heads up.
Johnny making the call. That's a deuce. Saw nothing across. I had a feeling that, you know, maybe it was something, but it's not quite something. But Johnny has picked up a pair. B. Hold'em's moved all in. He's all in for about 230 or so. Don't mind that graphic. He lost a big pot when we had lost the graphics before.
4 folds.
And that does get Johnny out of there. This is why we don't play 4 deuce.
Thank you.
And there's our graphics again. And B. Hold'em's win-loss number is going to be a little bit off, unfortunately, because we did see, actually MH's number is going to be off as well. MH is probably about $1,000 deeper than it shows right now. We saw him flop a set. We don't know what B. Hold'em had to bluff catch on that board. If I had to guess, it was something like 2 pair. Perhaps ace king.
players. One check.
10 deuce. B holds him with top pair.
3-bet 15.
No one else with anything right now.
1 fold, 2 fold. Live 10, live 20, double straddle.
Here at TCH Austin, we do have the quads of the day going once again this month. Currently $1,400. That's quad nines.
8 fold.
Must have a pocket pair.
1 raise, 50
Full rules at
total.
TexasCardHouse.com. There's pocket nines for MH. We got to make it 50. He's going to have an opportunity to go and hit this jackpot.
3 fold, 4 fold. 6
Owen's going
fold,
to defend. The 7-5 heads up to the flop.
I mean, there's a number of
Oh, he's going to have to backdoor King Jack 5. Bottom pair for bones. We go check, check.
1 check.
Nine's still ahead somehow on this board. There's a 6, which is an upside down 9.
6-bet 70.
Owen's going to express interest in this pot. Makes it 70.
1 call.
MH sticking around with that third pair. Jack pair is on the end. This will be a better river for Bones, who is going to have some more middle pairs that would check to the razor and then
Check. 1
bet
check.
flop, but
Showdown, please.
now he checks. We go check, check, and 5's no good. And there is a new twist this month with the quads of the day. In a PLO hand or a PLO bomb pot, if you have the quads in your hands, you'll hit the jackpot. So if you're dealt 4 9s in your hand tonight, and you satisfy the other requirements, complete rules at TexasCardHouse.com,
Florida Live.
you'll hit that jackpot. I think we're seeing a deck swap happening.
So Mel has more live stream decks in the back.
I think somebody was, yeah, so there's some concern about a card that became damaged, and that happens sometimes. Happens off stream all the time as well, and these things certainly don't last forever. So we swap the deck out, and then get another red deck out there. My quads of the day is such a fun promotion.
8 raise, 35 total, 1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 calls, 6 folds, heads up.
Johnny gonna defend against the raise from the Jack 8. That's a lot of spades, and
4 check,
Johnny does have a spade in his hand, the 10 of spades. Check, check. Deuce of clubs.
4 check,
Johnny's ahead with ace high, and he has the spade draw.
8-bet 40,
Barber going for the delayed C bet. Makes it 40. Johnny's got enough to hang around. 9 on the end. Nobody's got a 9 either. Ace high will be good if it gets the showdown. See if Barber wants to fire one more time. Jack high unlikely to win at showdown.
Eight bet 80.
He will make it 80. Half pot. This is a price that feels like it's looking to be called. Johnny does have a spade. He does make it a little bit harder for Barbara to have a flush.
Four fold.
Johnny is going to let it go, though. So, Fall Classic is in full swing over at TCH Spring. Spring is one of the northern suburbs of the Houston area. For those unfamiliar, at the Mystery Bounty this past weekend, there's a PLO Progressive Knockout happening
Live
this
pack.
week. Hold'em Progressive Knockout this weekend, and then the main next weekend, TexasCardHouse.com or Poker Atlas for the whole schedule there. I was out there this past weekend. I put a bullet in the Mystery Bounty on Saturday. Great room in Spring. Spring's actually just recently expanded. It's actually the biggest TCH location in terms of number of tables now. They've got it over 30 tables, I believe. And it's a nice room, and it's getting better, and I encourage you to check that out.
7 call. 1 fold. Heads up.
Chris going to check out a couple of black queens. Going to go heads up against the 5-4.
7
It's
check.
going to whiff pretty hard here. Chris, what, the overpair? Chris had actually chosen to flat with the queens. He got a little bit trappy. Kevin firing the C bet, and beautiful spot for queens here. Gonna go for the check raise, not wanting to see any more red cards. And 5-4 is gonna say, just kidding.
Don't pop card yet, or looks like we're on.
Chris taking it down.
He always counts it.
I just want another cycle, yeah.
Is it bomb pop?
I think his Buffalo Bills have taken a step back this year.
Nailed it, 15:45. If you started, you might have started early. What is it
Actually
every
played
half
a really
hour?
fun hand in Spring on Saturday
Once I
where
15:45.
I pulled off a
Yeah.
value bluff.
It's pretty straightforward.
What's a value bluff? A value bluff is a term that I made up. Or maybe somebody else made it up, but I haven't heard it, so maybe I made it up. Anyway, it's when you think you're bluffing and you somehow get caught by a worse hand. Like I have King Queen, and it's like Jack 10 and a bunch of baby cards. And I fire river, and I get called. There was a pair on the board as well. I turn over my King Queen, and he mucks. And that's a lot of sevens for Bones. That's quad sevens for Bones.
2 check. 3 check. 4 check.
So he's going to win half the pot. Who's got the case queen? Anyone? Queen and the queen. I don't see anyone holding a queen here. Bones got to put 50 out there. See if anybody wants to pay him. You want to keep it multi-way. MH does have kings. He does have a gutter as well. He's got over on both boards. B holds him with aces.
Players.
We go 3 ways to the rivers. It's a 3 and a 10. So Bones win the top. B holds him. Gonna hold on the bottom. Aces and queens for him on the bottom. 4 sevens for Bones. I feel like the last time I was in this booth, Bones flopped quads in a hold'em hand. I think it was quad sevens. And now Bones goes full pot.
1 fold.
I think he's decided to try and get his opponents off of a chop here. Like, you fundamentally have 2 choices in this situation. You're in a split pot game and you have a hammer lock on one half of the pot. You can either get called by everybody and take half the money, or you can get everybody off of the chop, and you take the half the pot that doesn't belong to you, and that's what Bones just did. And we'll go back to Hold'em here.
Do you want to straddle, Barber? Live 10.
9.
Albert, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a good evening. Barber gets back right in time to straddle.
One fold.
We know what he has already, and he has a decent hand. Kevin with a better hand though. He's got ace queen, makes it 35.
6 raise, 150.
Bowen's going for the 3-bet to 150. Barber's king queen offsuit just shriveled up a bit.
8 call.
He is going to cold call. It's going to be trouble for him.
2 call.
Domination, and
3 player.
Kevin's going to call. Has the best holding. He has the best of the 3 queens here. Jack 10-9. That's going to be the nuts for Barber. Kevin and Bowen's both with the open ender. Bowen's with top pair. Something for everyone here. Barber with the best of it though. Barber all but free rolling here. Kevin making it 200. Barber mostly just fearing a king here as we see Bones make the call. I'm just calling if I'm Barber. We don't even have a flush draw. I think I'm just calling here. Like we'd hate for the board to pair. A king would really suck though.
8 raise.
Yeah, so he is going to go ahead and make the raise up to 500, which is really small. This could feel really strong here. Going from so 200 call and then you make it 500. This is begging for a call. Like you're just not setting a price that is trying to attract votes here. And so it'll be Kevin first to decide here. Kevin deciding to call. Kevin betting you the king. Bowen's making the call as well. An 8 would be massive trouble for both of these gentlemen. Instead, it's a 7, which is going to put 4 to a straight on the board. This is an action killer, potentially, for Barber. He still has the nuts, but the 8 becomes pretty believable. Barber with about half pot behind. He's going to move all in for that half pot. It's going to be really tough for Kevin Y to make the call here. 2 overs and an open ender. You do block some of the straights with your queen. Probably don't have a whole lot of queen 8 anyway. You do block king queen. Does let it go. Over to Bones, who does have top pair to go with that straight draw. but not quite enough
Fold.
to call it off. So Barber doesn't get any further action.
Thank you.
And 8 probably gets him the full double there, but 1 pip too few.
Thank you.
Adding 500.
6 adding on 500.
And looks like we've got a new red deck.
I would say for bonus.
Looks like Beholden going to top up.
500.
Bones getting the button right.
500.
Presumably communicated that to Carly as well. You're going to move the button. Make sure you communicate with the dealer button's right and you avoid double moving the button potentially.
Live 10.
Good straddle. Good reminder.
Way to get back in time.
Huh?
Way to get back in time.
Yeah. That's definitely worth it.
2 raise, 35 total.
King Queen for Kevin this time. And for Bones.
6 raise,
Both with King Queen suited.
7 fold.
35 and 115.
8 fold. 1 fold.
Certainly Kevin will hang around here with King Queen suited. Plenty of hands. Heads up we go to the flop. And just overs and backdoor flush for both of these players here. 7-6 deuce. Rainbow.
Bet 150.
Bones, the 3-better. Gonna make it 150.
Fold.
And Kevin's seen enough of that.
Thank you.
So Bones collects the pot and we move on.
Live 10.
And we got another hand here.
3 fold. 4 fold. 6 fold. 7 raise, 35 total.
We're just gonna open it up.
8 fold. 1 fold. 2 fold.
And he will get 0 action, which is probably what he was hoping for with that exact hand, the 9-7 off. Not a very good hand.
Raise 30 total.
King 10 for Johnny. And Bones with ace queen. Gonna go for the 3-bet. Bones doing a lot of 3-betting this evening.
8 fold.
And they've been with mostly some pretty solid holdings.
2 fold.
think the one time he gets significant resistance will be the one time he doesn't have it, though. That's how it seems to go a lot.
Heads up.
Johnny gonna call. He is 2 to a royal. Jack 5-5 is a swing and a miss for both players.
6-bet, 70.
Bones will go about a third pot, $70. Quick fold from Johnny.
Thank you.
And I won, so that's
Because that was the whole point of that day, right?
yeah.
Live 10, live 20, double straddle.
How was enough for people to...
5, 10, 20 in his hands.
10,200.
One of straddles work here at TCH Austin. Player under the gun can straddle has to be at least twice the big blinds. Could be as much as you want though. And then if they straddle, the player their left has the option to do the same thing. And it keeps going like that all the way to the button.
The thing is, you had to make trips are better.
Doesn't come to that often.
The more passive the game is,
MH making it 50 at the sevens
Every time.
and taking it down.
great win, dude.
$37 heading his way.
Win with 10
I find with these giant straddles though, the game ends up starting to play weirder. Like you find yourself effectively playing 20 bigs deep, then you get some weird folds, some weird limps.
just need like the 10
Live 10.
card to play. You just like bully people out of pots like that.
A bit more comfortable for the tournament players, I would say, who tend to live their lives at 20 big blinds, myself included.
Seven raised, 8 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 fold, 6 fold. Heads up.
Versus 35 gets the pull from Bones. Queen, 4.
6 check, 7 check.
Chris had the best hand, now he has a pair. Third club, Bones with the 9 high club draw.
7 bet 30.
See if that's enough to call Chris's $30 bet. It is not.
Thank you.
Bones doing his best to avoid that 15% Lottie line, clearly. 15% as decided by all of you, the chat pros, a number of years ago. 3 flop raises. Only 25 for Bones. It just feels like more. When Bones has been playing hands, he's been playing them aggressively. That's not a bad thing either, necessarily, when you have opponents who might be playing much later ranges and
It's a live 10.
you punish them by raising and
2 raised, 30.
forcing them to either fold their garbage or put more money in with their garbage.
6 fold. 7 fold.
And Kevin with a mystery hand making it 35. Ace 10, 10, 2 spades. We don't know what these hands are. Okay. Back to Kevin the Razor.
7 fold.
Goes the third pot and gets the job done. Whatever he had, it was clearly good enough to get the job done, or perhaps Chris had none of that, like he had like middling red cards, maybe. Put the 10 on again. I think the 10's going to be on a lot tonight. I don't think it's mandatory. But I do think it's on a whole lot tonight. As it often is.
Two raise, 35. Three fold, four fold, six fold, seven fold.
Bones not a believer in the 9 triz. Aaron would be disappointed. Not the 9 triz of hearts, though.
Eight call.
I think Bones was one of the pioneers of the 9 triz, actually, back in the day. King, Queen, Jack. And that's going to be the Heinz ends of the straight for Kevin. But it is a straight. Barber with a terrible gut shot, and that's it. 75, and that's just an insta fold because 9-6 not so nice.
Thank you.
So how many of you in the chat saw the Oklahoma-Texas game this past weekend? Saw pieces of that while I was playing at Spring. Gotta say, defense seems to be overrated these days. Like, just nobody's playing it. Not sure why nobody's playing defense anymore.
Three raise, 35 total. Four fold, six fold. Seven raise, 125 total.
First 3 betting. MHR straddler with red 8s.
One pass.
And a cold call that 3 bet from Chris. He holds him with the 5-4 suited. 3 ways we go. King 10-9. And the 8s are somehow ahead here. Everyone hates this flop. Check, check, check. That's another 9. So bad nobody's got pocket 9s here. First player to breathe on this probably wins. Check, check, check. To the river we go, 3 ways. There's the deuce that nobody wanted. And they all check again.
Oh, so close to the 9.
MH will be delayed to see if the 8s are a winner.
So sick. What's that? Yeah.
Live 10.
Barbara with the Queen 9 suited.
One raise, 50.
Limps the 10, and MH going to make it $50 with the pocket 3s.
Three players.
2 callers, 3 ways we go. Queen 10 9. That's going to be queens and nines for Barber. 10 in the gutter for Kevin.
8 check. 1 check.
And H with
2
just
check.
an under pair. Everyone checks. Ace is probably not one of the preferred turns for Barber with the queens and nines.
1 fold.
But he will put the 50 out there.
2 call.
Kevin makes the call, and the ace will pair on the end.
8 check.
3 pair for Barber. That's too many.
2 check.
That's too many pairs. Check, check. Aces and queens with a 10 will be good enough for Barber.
Straight draw, flush draw, and then
Nice river for you there.
Nice one.
Nice river for you there, right?
Counter for the win. 2 pair. Yeah. Slowed everything down.
3 fold. 4 raise, 30.
Streetland is beating people up this evening.
6 raise, 1 10, 7
Almost
fold.
with Ace King looking to beat up some inferior holdings.
8 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold, 4 fold.
When 10 gets no takers.
Life 10. Six folds. 7 raise, 35. 8 call, 1 fold. 2 fold.
4s and 8 7, and King 10 probably gets in there.
3 call. 4 fold. 4 players.
He holds and makes the call. Johnny Bravo also getting in there from the straddle with the 9-8. And 9-8 has an open ender here. Jack 7-6. Barber with a pair.
6 bet 30.
30 from Chris with the baby pair of 4s. Barber
3 players.
calling. Johnny calling.
4 check.
3 doesn't help anyone here.
7 check.
Somebody would have said it.
8 check.
Everyone checks. The king an equally useless river.
He's there, right there.
7 bet 140.
135, 140 rather, from Chris.
8 fold. 4
This could work. Barber's out of there, and he had a pair. 9 high's not going to call either, so Chris going to take that one. When it checks that many times, it's entirely possible that nobody has anything, and
Seat 4,
Chris
adding
saw
1.
that and he pounced, and he took a pot that didn't belong to him. And see, Scooter, he rolled 100. See, all I had to do to fix Streamlabs was yell at it.
Live 10.
Seat open.
7 threes, 35.
Chris with the suited ace.
8 threes. 110.
35. Barbara with the queen jack makes it 110. So isolate things, I think.
4 fold.
Or not. Bones has kings. I don't think Bones is going to go away. I think Bones is going to put in a fourth bet.
6 raise, 300.
He has done exactly that. He makes it $300. Barbara with the suited connector is going to see 3 more cards here. Heads up we go. Holy Comboli, Batman. 10, 10, 9, 2 diamonds. Open-ended straight flush draw for Barber. Bones with the overpair. Just imagine if Bones makes King's full with a diamond. Bones will continue for 300.
8
And
raise, 7.
Barber has a lot of equity here, and Barber makes the raise to 750. His equity impaired only by the fact that Bones has 2 of the kings that would make a straight. Barber would have more equity if Bones had aces, believe it or not.
It's cool.
As it is, Bones calls. Pot size bet left behind. The 10 pairs on the turn, 3 10s now.
Check. 8.
So Barber's equity shrivels up. Barber down to just 2 outs. We go check, check. 7 of clubs, it all misses. 10's full of kings. Gonna be the best hand for Bones here. Barber flopped too many outs, and then he lost most of his outs, and they were all bricks anyway. And when Barber checks back turn, doesn't feel like he has so many made hands here. He raises flop and checks back turn.
625.
625, and obviously queen high has to just fold.
Thank you.
Bones faded it all. Not only did he fade it all, he found some improvement.
Annie,
Hearing the words Annie up, I think we've got another bomb pot on our way. Get a look at these aggression numbers. No surprise to see a lot of aggression at the table here. Aggressive poker, often winning poker. Everyone's got their cards. Here come the flops. 885, 2 diamonds. Queen 10, 4, 2 spades. Spade draw, open ender for Johnny.
one check. 3 bet, 25.
Don't see anyone with an 8.
6 fold, 7 fold.
He holds it, making it 25, king, queen, jack 10.
8
2 pair and
call, 2
open ender on bottom. Johnny and MH both calling 10s and 4s. Diamonds get there. MH with the 10 high diamonds on top. On a paired board, though, he won't love it that much. Checks over to Beholden, who has now turned Broadway to go with his now middle two pair. Pots it, 145. Jack 993. Spades on the bottom. Lets it go. The straight draw. No longer the nut straight draw. Beholden takes it all. Got the flush on top to just get out of there.
Live 10. Live 10. 8 fold. 1 raise, 30. 2 fold. 3 fold, 4 fold, 6 fold, 7 fold.
Raise and take it for MH.
Live 10. Got it. One raise, 30. 2 fold. 3 fold, 4 fold. 6 fold. 7 fold. 8 fold.
And the computer basically explodes on this hand as well, unfortunately. So seat 1 is in the hand. You can see him with cards there. 853 all hearts. MH versus Barber. 15 from MH. Barber weighs the price. He makes the call. Ace of clubs on the turn. It was just the ace of hearts. You got top pair now. Check, check. And each one our last blind hands. The top card from the flop pairs on the river, the 8 of spades. Some say it's a magic card. Check, check. Pair of threes, 8s and 3s for MH. And 8s and 3s going to be good enough for MH, who wins another blind hands. Here's my conspiracy theory. MH is somehow psychically sabotaging the computer. Just hear me out here. All the hands where it breaks, he ends up winning.
Live 10.
His play is just so elite that the system can't handle it. What do you all think, guys? What do you all think in the chat?
2 fold. 3 fold, 4 fold. 6 raise, 30. 7 call. 8 fold.
Three-way action here. 6-5-4.
One check.
Gutter for MH. Everybody's got overs. Everyone checks. Now we're 4 to a straight. Nobody with the 7 or the deuce, though.
One that's 75.
MH gonna bite here.
7 fold.
On the bigger side, makes it 75. Gets it done.
Thank you.
Alright, so,
Look at these V-pips. A lot of players here playing a lot of hands. He holds him down at 18%.
Thank you. 3 fold, 4 fold, 6 fold, 35, 7 fold, 8 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold.
35 from Bones gets it done. Kyle, good to see you in the chat. Happy to be watching and not in seat 5 and have Bones on your left. Yeah, that's the seat I wouldn't want either. I don't want to have Bones on my direct left. Very accomplished cash game player around these parts. Always a formidable opponent. Remember the first time I ever played on this show,
6 raise,
and
7 fold.
on my direct left I had Bart Hansen, back when he still lived down here in Texas. Then I had Bones. Then I had Westlake Matt. Talk about a nightmare seat.
3 call, heads up.
All the good players with position on me all the time.
3 check.
But who needs skill when you can flop a pair and an open ender?
Thank you.
Bones takes that one. This game's a lot easier when you just make the best hand every time.
Live 10.
Yeah, that first session did not go great for me, but that was at least 50% my own fault.
Yep.
Any objections?
But I stuck around.
One round.
We're doing double straddles.
Okay,
Live
so
10, live
just
20.
figuring out the straddles. He could have just put the 20 on if he wanted to. Doesn't have to just be 10. He can go bigger if he wants. You can put your whole stack out there as a straddle, and people have done just that. But with Barbara holding jacks here, he's going to be glad that he didn't put out so much money, I imagine. Especially when MH has the very best hands that one can have in this game. 2 aces.
2 fold.
Yeah.
He's set up.
Makes it 225. We see all the jacks accounted for. Bones with the steamed Dola, the 8 of spades, 8 of hearts. Bones going to make the call here. Back to Barbara with the jacks.
Call.
8 call. 3
Pretty
pair.
straightforward call here. At this point, a 4-bet only gets you called by ace-king and hands that beat you. We really don't want to get called only by ace-king and hands that beat us. 3 ways we go. 10-4 deuce.
6 check.
All repairs for Barbara and MH. Not the scary over for Bones. The 10 is not the one that you're really that scared of. That said, you don't have the diamond, so you've only got one out that's really clean. MH continues for 275. I think this might be the end of the line for Bones. Barber could find himself in some trouble. Bones is going to call. This is where you just say, I put you on ace-king. Those famous last words. But you also put Barber on ace-king. Barber makes the call. Queen of diamonds on the turn. Barber picks up the jack-high diamond draw. Wonder if MH might get a little spooked here between the diamond's getting there and he does not have a diamond. The possibility that, if we think about continuing ranges, queens are a possibility, and we do check through. So the river we go. And there's another queen, which I think is going to alleviate his fears. Pocket queens just got there on him. Bones and Barber are also going to feel pretty good that the queen didn't help anybody. Only hand that improves at this point is ace-queen and perhaps king-queen.
575.
Barber are going to say, I have the queen. Barber makes it 575. Inconvenient for MH, but I think you got a call here. Multi-weight is less likely to be a bluff. We figure we probably would have heard from a flush by now if either Bones or MH had made a flush here. We'd have probably heard from it. Or rather, it wouldn't have taken Barber so long if he turned to flush. See if MH can figure it out here. MH gonna make the call, and Bones will just get out of there immediately. Aces will hold for MH. Barber finding out that there's no right way to play that hand. That's right, Kurt. We got Bones in the house tonight. It's been a while. Always glad to see him around here. One of the OGs of TCH Live. TCH Live from Austin tonight. William Waddy, the New York Knight, with you. Mel pressing the buttons on the other side. Carly in the box, stealing the cards out. Bones with the suited ace will offer resistance to Kevin's 6-4. $210, and you know what? If Kevin wants to put $210 into the pot with 6-4, he's welcome to do that. Heads up we go. And Kevin does outflop Bones here. Pair of fours for Kevin. Queen 7-4, 1 heart for Bones.
That was the only way I could figure to get you off that. You know, it's a good board to like
175.
represent whatever.
We'll continue for 175.
Good
I
call.
think Kevin was hoping to bluff a little bit more than bottom pair here. Does have a backdoor straight draw.
2 call.
175, he does call. 8 of hearts is going to give Bones the heart draw. Kevin picking up a gut shot here to know of what is the best hands.
Did you have a diamond? I had a jack of diamonds. I was like,
Bones going to
this is
check
like
here.
folding is just do some.
I don't know if that 564 number is accurate for Kevin's remaining stack.
Was that?
I think Kevin's got a little, he's got a bunch more than that actually. I see a purple and some black there. Purple 500, black
Certainly
100, green 25, red 5, white 1. Check, check. And that 3 is red, but it is not a heart. Pair of 4s will be good for Kevin if it gets the showdown. We'll see if Bones lets it get to that point.
Was that?
He does check, and Kevin gonna take his pair to
That's the thing.
showdown,
I probably
and
still would have bet about that much with the queen.
he is going to win at showdown.
Ace queen with ace done.
I guess that's what I was trying to represent. Stuff when he's got all the aces.
Although I don't know if it's, no, actually you checked the turn.
I was hoping he had kings to make that laydown.
See, football's happening now. Again, we're looking for 14.6 fantasy points from Devontae Adams, and we beat Doug. And Kyle, I think if you fold those jacks pre-flop, the jacks ends up being the best hand. That's the problem with the fold strategy.
Round is $20 straddle. You can take that one. Nicely made.
One's playing the ace-7 the right way. Raise and take it. Now, can somebody explain to me what happened in that Miami game on Saturday? The University of Miami, not the Dolphins. University of Miami. Why do you run the ball? You can literally just take a knee and you win the game. You run the ball. Why? More importantly, why does that coach still have a job after making that decision? It's football 101. Which, as an aside, I mean, a week ago, everyone was complaining that Patrick Mahomes laid down instead of scoring that touchdown. And that Miami game the other night is exactly why you don't score the touchdown and give the team the ball, give the other team the ball, or even a chance to have the ball, and something weird happens. Your goal isn't to cover the point spread. Your goal is to win football games. And that's what Mahomes did, and that's what Miami's coach did not do. MH with the Doyle, the 10 deuce, the Doyle Brunson getting after it and flopping a diamond's flush. Chris had him dominated with the ace-10. MH going for the 3-bet and getting rewarded with a flopped flush. I don't think he's going to get any more money, though. He's going to have to settle for that 275 3-bet from the pre-flop rounds. And MH going to take that down. I'm with you, Kyle. That is the biggest coaching blunder. Like, that's That's worse than Pete Carroll not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch in Super Bowl 49.
Big blind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here you go.
There's a throwback for those of you who remember that game.
Lifetime.
I was living in Seattle when that happened, actually. People were not happy with that. You have one of the best running backs in the game at the time. You're at like the 2-yard line or something. And you don't hand the ball to him. You throw it to a very crowded end zone.
7 rays. 8,
And then you lose the Super Bowl.
Raise.
8 rays.
All
All in.
Press with a suited connector. Made it 80. Barber shoving 738 with ace queen. Ace jack suited just has to fold. That sucks. It's like, I really wanted to see a flop.
I'm kind of bottom feeding.
And he's going to show it.
Not
That
nothing, but it's,
shove
you
did
know.
get through.
I don't like shoving with that crap. But
Michael, the
it's pretty
people
good.
rave about barbecue down here. I'm actually not much of a barbecue guy myself. I'm kind of weird that way.
Yeah. Right.
I have 2 spades.
Oh yeah. Okay. There you go.
Maybe all red.
Yeah, I'm also from New York, so might not be the best person to
Good guess.
discuss barbecue with. And in Texas, about 7 years though. Visiting soon for the barbecue and the poker games. Nice. Coming down to Austin or some other part of Texas.
20.
There's good poker in a lot of places in Texas.
Huh?
You should happen to be in Austin, Dallas, Houston, or the Rio Grande Valley regions. Hopefully you come play that poker at Texas Card House. 6 locations between those 4 areas rather. 3 players going to the flop. 10, 8. Gutter for MH. Everyone checking. Here's the rainbow.
One's at 25.
MH going to jump on it here. $25 bet. That probably just gets the job done, and it does get the job done. TCH should be bigger in viewership than what it has. I would love to have more viewers, and you can help. You know how you can help us get more viewers? You press that like button, and you go and share this with your friends.
No, we reached at 20, so
Take that YouTube link,
you don't have to put 40 in.
share that on your social media,
Everybody
hop
is
on the
more than
Twitter,
welcome
or
to
I guess
put
now
40
it's the X, and re-X it or post it or tweet it or whatever we want to call it.
Is there a black chip in there? What is that? Maybe it's just a shout out.
I love some Texas poker.
Some serious straddle.
One of the things I like about Texas.
8 fold. Maybe
You
that's
see the
the
40 on this hand. Where else do you see 2, 5, 10, 20, 40 happening?
1 raise to the
125 from MH. Johnny in the $20 straddle. Making the call. I think Devontae Adams caught that ball.
3 players.
Bones with the 9 triz. Gonna defend the 40. Gonna get disappointed on ace 10-6. Gutter for Johnny. Pocket 8 still the best hands. You definitely get better hands. You get better games here in Texas than Vegas, in my opinion. 100 from Johnny. 9 triz gets out of there. Got to be tough for MH to keep going with third pair and back doors.
1 fold.
Yeah, 100 is too much for him to keep going. Johnny's going to take that queen jack.
Ball pot, Annie S.
All right.
Bomb
I was
pot
like, I
coming.
don't know if
Hammer
this
says
is
one of the first streams they started watching, and
Well, I think we'd rather it be like a
favorite
minute
room.
earlier
Glad,
than, like,
glad you guys
4
enjoy
minutes
playing at
late.
TCH. Glad you guys enjoy the show.
I got a button, I'm not complaining.
I enjoy having all of you in the chat, coming along for the ride. Bomb pot coming. Real quick, I'll plug something while these cards are going out here. Deuce the 7 single draw tournament. What? Here at TCH Austin, we had one yesterday. We have another one on the 22nd, which is
I know, I literally
13
was
days
like,
from
we have
now.
to beat Billy to the punch.
as we're speaking here. That is such a fun game. I'll tell you about that in a moment. How about that flop for the 9 Triz? 993. King 8-2's Rainbow. And trip 9s for Kevin, 8s and deuces for Kevin. And who's got better hands here? Bones with 9s with an ace. Pots it. Always sad to be folding aces. Ace, king, 10, 6. Pretty one way for MH. He's going to call though. Kevin with the inferior trips. But bottom, 2 on the bottom. I think he could talk himself into continuing.
Oh, goody. I'm sorry, this is my desk side. 350.
Kevin going to pot it to 350. Going to go the aggressive route. And over to Bones, who has trips on top. There's not a lot that's scooping him. Does have a pair on the bottom. Is going to continue here. Heads up, we go to the turns. Jack of clubs, 4 of spades. Flush draws available on both boards now. And that jack did not fill anybody. Kevin's still ahead on bottom. Bones still ahead on top.
2 check.
Check, check. Calm before the storm. A 6 and a jack. 9's full of 6s for Bones on top. Had the better trips anyway. On the bottom, 8s and deuces will be good for Kevin. Bones not finding any improvement there. Bones not getting scooped by a whole lot.
840.
Only Jack 9 and Jack Jack. Goes full pot, 840, maximum pressure on Kevin. Not a great situation for him. Essentially bottom 2 pair, like 3rd and 5th pair on the bottom. On the top, he has trips of the queen. So much of it's beating him on top. Kevin thinking about this. Bones potted and then called his pot on the flop. Check back turn. Now he's potting on the ends. He does flick it in, chop it up. Your uncle likes Dallas. Well, glad your uncle likes Dallas, and we like Dallas as well. TCH locations at Dallas and Las Colinas in that region. Lots of great action up there. I've been up there
My brain works so slow.
a number of times. We also stream out of there, including the big game tomorrow night, usually 5, 10, 25 these days, I think. Usually our friend Aaron McAvoy in the group for that one. They have a lot of fun up there as well. Yeah, so that no limit just to 7 single draws. So it's a pretty simple game, actually. Royal flush is the worst hand in that game. We're going for a low hand. Straights are bad, flushes are bad, aces are high. You got 5 cards, it's like 5-card draw. 5 cards, betting rounds. Then you get to draw as many as you want, 0 to 5 cards, and then have another betting round, and you go to showdown. If nobody's bluffed the other guy out of there until then. And
Raise to 30.
fun game. They even played at the World Series of Poker.
4 call. Heads up.
Supposedly, there was a coin flip way back in 1970 to decide whether the main event should be Hold'em or No Limit Deuce. Hold'em won that flip. But
3 check. 4
the
check.
only Austin area, check that out on the 22nd. I can't make it that day, unfortunately. I did get to play yesterday. And
3 check.
dusted off 2 bullets there.
4 check.
Really good draws, really disappointing runouts. 4 spades that nobody has a spade. The deuce is going to be good for B Hold'em. His ace would be good anyway. Johnny Bravo finding no improvement with the red 7-4. But does find a bluff and gets B Hold'em out of there.
Thank you.
Aggressive poker is such a fun thing. Okay, Devontae Adams got me 2.2 points on that first drive. Another 12.4 to go. First take is has to get the ball back though. Two, 5, 10, 20. Well, we know the $20 straddle has hands. 65 from Kevin, which of course Chris will
7 raised to 25.
offer some resistance in the form of a $225 re-raise. And ace-9 not quite good enough.
Thank you.
And I can get behind that fold.
Like that. You know?
Not too many runouts where you'd be excited to put in a bunch of money.
That's real. Okay.
You are up in Dallas. Be sure to check out the even bigger one at the end of this month. $250,000 guarantee. Fights at 10 and 5 Wednesday through Saturday that week, the 25th through the 28th. Day 2 on Sunday, the 29th. 12% get paid, 8% bag up and go on to that day 2. Complete details, TexasCardHouse.com or Poker Atlas. And good luck if you play that one.
3 raised, 35. 4 fold, 6 fold, 7 fold. Heads up. 7 check.
B holds him. What the gutter. King high, good for Chris. behold, I'm going to do some betting and see how enthusiastic Chris is about that king high. And not at all. Not actually a surprise. So we go on to the next hand. King moving at a pretty good pace tonight. Michael wondering if we play short deck in Texas. I don't see it a whole lot. I'm sure there's clubs somewhere that have run a short deck tournament every now and then. We might have even done it with one of the Poker Atlas series. But here's the nice thing about Texas poker clubs, and certainly TCH, but I imagine a lot of Texas poker clubs, if you get enough people, they'll spread anything. Why do we have that No Limit Deuce tournament this month? Because people have been playing No Limit Deuce here. People showed up and they wanted to play, and they spread the game. We've even had 2 full tables of Deuce. The tournament got up to 3 tables yesterday. The game will play 7 max. And, yeah, we've had mixed games, all kinds of crazy mixed games. Barbara with a nice little diamond draw here. So the answer is we can play short deck if you want. We just need enough people who want to play short deck, and you make a list and it happens.
7 fold.
Call. 40?
8 call, 40.
He reaches 40, does get caught by Barbara. And there's the diamonds. Barbara getting there, even has the redraw with the 4 of diamonds, which might be accounted for already. I don't remember.
1 check.
Check, check. Deuce on the ends.
Hey, Spiro.
MH. Picking up a pair of deuces, which doesn't really improve his hands that much.
1 fold. Is it still
MH folding to Barbara's river bet.
Is it still going to be the 7? To do the 45. And if more than 45 from the park is cool.
And someone's dinner just showed up.
Yeah, he's waiting for basically 1 hour to push. 5, 10.
Not that I'm hungry. I ate before I came here.
Well, I mean, I'm still pushing to 45, so it's not like that. 2 folds, it's not that. 3 folds, and then some. Yeah. 4 raised to 40, 6 folds. 7
40
folds.
from Johnny. Chris going with the suited gapper. Barber. Ace 3 offsuit. I don't think that's quite strong enough. He does fold. Passes MH. 3 ways we go. There's a 7 for Chris, but it's all spades. Johnny Bravo with the nut spade draw.
4 bet 25.
And the 2 overs.
7 fold.
50-50 here. 25 and a call, and that's going to be trips now
7 check.
for
4
Chris.
check.
Check, check. No more spades, just the 3. So Johnny's going to break it out. Chris with the trips. Don't know that he's going to get paid.
We're gonna get those too.
7 bet.
Ace high with the spade, not even an exciting bluff catcher. As you do block the missed flush draws. You can discount the ace high flushes anyway, just because you would have heard from it by this point.
25.
Johnny is going to go for the raise. because he does block the nuts. And how do we flop a flush without hearing from Chris up until now? Trips with the weak kicker, but it just doesn't make sense. So he's going to flick in the call chip, and he's going to get the good news. His trips are, in fact, a winner. Who needs a good kicker anyway? There's probably a few football teams that could use a good kicker right now. But not that kind of kicker. Looks like Vegas has the ball again. Don't know who number 87 is, but just gained a bunch of yards. I would much rather see go to my guy. Bones rebetting with the 7 deuce. I don't think the 7 deuce game is on. I think this is just for the show. Kevin going for the Colts 4-bet with the King 10 of diamonds. I love it. Getting aggressive. Makes it 375. This is where Bones is going to have to say, just kidding. His hand was in the cookie jar there. River Rat, great to see you. Glad you're enjoying the show. Greetings from your TCH location. Which of these 6 locations would that be? Austin, Spring, Houston, Dallas, Las Colinas, Rio Grande Valley. Well, it's getting right back on the horse, making $20 to be Jack 9 of spades, Barber, King Queen of spades. Gonna be in there. So is MH. Kevin with the 7 deuce suited. Gonna call. 7 deuce. See if we get a 7 deuce special here. Well, there's a 7. There's 1 spade. 7, 6, 4. MH with a 6. Kevin with a 7. Everyone with a check. And there's another 6, which is going to be 3 6s for MH, which is a lot of 6s. Kevin, what top pair? Does make it 50. Barber's King Queen gets out of there. MH has trips. I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Does choose to just call. Trying to keep all of the various bluffs in. But the 7 on the river. 7 deuce special for Kevin. 7's full of 6s. Will be better than MH's 6s full of 7s. How much value will Kevin go for here? Losing to not very much at all. Losing only to pocket 6s.
What is that?
Goes for 155. I think he's targeting a 6. MH making the call, gonna see the bad news, 7 deuce. Now we know the 7 deuce game is not on because they'd all be throwing money at him right now. Something people like to do sometimes, you have a little side game where if you win the pot with 7 deuce, everybody's got to give you some amount of money. That does not appear to be happening tonight. That is 2 straight hands, though, where we've seen 7 deuce voluntarily put money in the pot, which is not a conventional move because 7 deuce is terrible. In fact, pre-flop, it is as terrible as it gets. Wherever I was watching from RGB, it's the one location I haven't had a chance to get down to yet. It's kind of far from me. But glad to hear you're all having a good time down there, enjoying the show. Maybe we get a great big like spike from RGB. That'll be the next region that we're huge in. I mean, during the plague times, we were huge in Australia. So many chatters would check in from that part of the world where I guess we were a morning show. And they were all quarantined and they had nothing better to do. And they got a little taste of Texas. You see MH undeterred by that last setback, getting frisky with the king deuce and getting no respect at all.
Big bump.
Going 4 ways to the flop in a 3-bet pot, 650 almost in the middle. At what is advertised as a 2-5 game. Ace King Deuce, that's going to be bottom 2 for MH. And top pair for Barber, who might find himself in a bit of trouble here. Checks over to MH, who was on the button. This is a good flop for his range as the 3-better. He can certainly have the good aces. He can have aces. He can have kings. Apparently, he can also have king deuce for bottom 2 pair. And he makes it 180. Folds over to Barber, who has top pair. And if we're flopping top pair, we got to be calling here. And that looks like that's what he's done. Jack is going to give him the gutter. MH, who's going to check it back now. 6 on the end. It's going to be a safe run out for him.
8 is all in, 1 call.
Ace king.
Barber goes for it. He goes all in, gets snapped off by MH.
Yeah. I see him.
And that is coverage. Barber going to get stacked here. Don't know if he's going to call it a night or not.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, it sounds like that's going to be it for him. Thanks for playing, Barber. Sorry it didn't quite go your way here. Couldn't have gone any better for MH. Checking back the turn and giving Barber the chance to either think that he's good or that MH is maybe not so good and go for it there. I figured that had to be a value bet, though. I don't think there's any better hands that were folding on that particular board. Like the next best hand was ace-queen. After ace-10, it was like ace-queen, and then a bunch of 2 pairs. I don't think any 2 pairs were folding that when pretty much everything misses. But that's how it goes. Sometimes you value on yourself a little bit, and if that's never happening to you, you might not be betting thin enough.
I think I was invited.
5 players.
5 places we go. about right for this part of the country. Ace 10-5 is pair of fives for Chris, which is the best hands, believe it or not. Kevin with a gutter. We all check. Anyone have a 7? Anyone have a 7? Go fish. Bones with the open ender, though.
80.
Hey, those go fish games are tough. Get back up to New York every now and then. My niece is a crusher on the go fish streets.
Start stalling.
Live 10.
Some more 2, 5, 10 here.
Thank you.
He's king for Kevin. Queens for Bones. Here come the fireworks.
6 raise.
Collision of premiums.
7 fold.
135 from Bones, who's been doing a lot of rebetting tonight. Okay, he's gonna feel like he's got the green light to 4-bet. $400 appears to be the price. Bones has done a lot of light 3-betting. Now his 3-bet actually has it, and you get the 4-bet and you actually have it, and that's a good situation. Out of position, this probably leans towards an all-in. He will choose to call, though. A little over 800 in the middle. As we go heads up. King right in the window. That's not what Bones wanted to see. Top pair, top kicker for Kevin. The ladies in red not being kind to Bones. Kevin going for the tiny 1/8 bet. $100. Down the price where Bones has the call and try and find himself a third queen. Instead, he finds himself a 5 of clubs. See what Kevin does here. $500 the bet this time. Bones gonna make the call. To the river we go. Bones needs a queen. Does not get the queen. He gets a 3. $2,000 pot now. Bones with about that much behind. The graphics say Kevin has about 700. Did not get a look at his stack to see if that's the accurate number. About 1,200 is the number I'm told. Mel's got that fixed in the future. It is about 1,200. Number probably got skewed when we were flying blinds earlier tonight. Kevin does move all in for that 1,200 or so. And he's either got it or he doesn't. And Bones came this far. Called twice. Is he going to call the third time? What do you all think in the chat? No reason Kevin can't have it. 4-bet a pre when bet shove. Ace, king, aces, and kings. All possibilities here. Real question is, what are the bluffs? Does he ever do this with a smaller pair? Does he ever do this with some sort of big ace that decides to go for the bluff? Unfortunately, you are blocking ace-queen if you're Bones. There's no draws that got there that would make sense in a 4-bet pot. Bones does make the folds. Kevin's going to take down a huge one there.
Thank you, guys.
And on that note,
1500.
that's going to be the mic drop moment for Carly. And the push out after doing the first half of the show. Looks like BMG Russell coming in for the second half of the show. We're going to have a bomb pot. I'll take the moment to do a little bit more plugging. What am I going to plug here? Our October promos here at TCH Austin. Quads of the day with a twist. I told you a little bit about that today. $1,400 quad nines today. Pocket pair in your hands and hold them. Make the quads or PLO. If you have the quads in your hands, if you have the quad nines in your hand today, you'll win the jackpot. Early morning rewards. Your checks in at 5:30, 7:30, 9:30 in the morning. $25 in rewards. Each of those, you can use those on membership dues, club access fees, or merchandise. And refer a friend. 15 rewards for you. Free monthly membership for the friend. TexasCardHouse.com for all the details on all the promos. So much going on here at TCH. Most likely do have a top up happening here. Looks like Vegas got that first down after review. Now can you please throw the ball to Devontae Adams, please?
All right, that's good. All right.
Need some points here. We're trying to beat somebody. Trying to beat Doug.
I haven't seen these.
You all know him if you watch the show. He's always wearing the Jets gear. Keeping it on the ground again.
7 or 8?
Of course they are.
Okay, I just want to make sure so I'm going to the right buzzer there. All right, we're good.
All hearts on the first flop. And King 6-4-2 diamonds on the second flop. Open enter for Bones.
6 folds.
Just folds. No one-way hands.
One check, two check.
Doesn't even want to see what happens. 6 high hearts for Kevin. Jack high hearts for Beholden.
4 call. 7 fold.
He makes it 25. He also has a king on that bottom board. 6s and 4s for Johnny Bravo on the bottom. That's a one-way hand, but he's going to call. NH with the dry king of hearts, 7s and 3s. That are on the bottom, and a king. Made the call. Kevin. King 6-5 deuce. So Small hearts on top. We see his straight flushes sitting there on the bottom board, unfortunately. He has kings and sixes on the bottom. Has a gutter on the bottom. Potted it up to 185. B. Holden gets out of there with his flush, and that cleans it up.
We got straddle 10. Take it, take it.
That was an Adams.
Thank you, sir. Two-fold. Three-fold. Four-fold.
It's Jack for Johnny Bravo, getting a lamp. Still gonna be good.
One check.
And MH with the Jack 10 will go heads up. Jack 10's got a gutter on this 8-7-5. Quick check, check. 8 of hearts. They both have a heart draw. Johnny's is better.
Four call.
Queen of hearts. They both have a flush now. Johnny's is the better flush. MH, though, will come out betting. He'll go for the tiny 15.
Four bet. 50.
Gets the $50 raise. Targeting a weaker heart, surely.
One fold.
He won't fall for it, though. He will make the fold.
Take it. It's doing alright. Got a little bit of hobble too. We got live 10. No, not nearly as bad. I'm probably at like a good, like, I don't know, 92, 93% of it. Something right around there. Three-fold, four-fold, six-fold. 7-bet, 35.
We're just going to open it up with the ace jack of clubs.
Two call. Heads up.
Kevin defends his straddle. King, queen, 6. Top pair for Kevin.
7-bet, 30.
Gutter for Chris.
Two call.
Versus 30 gets called by Kevin. Deuce of clubs won't change anything. Not even Chris. Kevin still has top pair. Kevin will make the call. Wherever we go, Chris looking for an ace or a 10. Gets another deuce. No pair for Chris. Gives up. Checks it.
Two bet, 200.
200 from Kevin gets the quick fold. Have the best hands.
Thank you, sir.
Who scored that? Who scored that? Mel, I got good news for you.
Threefold.
Jacoby Myers.
Fourfold. 5 bet 20. Sorry, 60.
Yeah, well, now he has more than 0 points. He's just scored a touchdown, and he's had some other receptions, and I really wish that were 17 instead of 16 with those numbers, but whatever. And Bones with Jacks is going to see action from Chris W. and MH, 7s and 8s, so 3 players with pairs. Those would go 3 ways to the flop here. 6-5-4, kind of interesting. Everyone's got an overpair. Chris with an open ender, MH with a gutter.
1 check. 6 check.
Checks to Chris, our 3 better with the open ender, makes it 75. Holding a hand that certainly doesn't have to go away if he gets raised here, which is exactly what MH is going to do. Makes it 250. And the Jacks just fold, facing the bet and the raise. Bones not feeling good about his prospects, and he is fading a whole bunch, even if he had the best hand at the moment. And certainly more bets going to be going in here. Chris does make the call. 8s versus 7s. The turn pairs the 5. MH now checking. This will go check, check. They basically just bought themselves a river, which is another 4. 3 pairs for both players. 3 pair. MH is better with 8s and 5s with a 6. And Jacks would have held. Check, check. 8s are good. I get where Bones is coming from, though. You get the bet and the raise on such a connected board. Even if you're good, you're super vulnerable. All right, I'm going to step away for just a minute. I will be right back. Keep it right here. They'll keep playing poker for you.
I know that I thought I remembered the date, but I can't even remember the date. 6-fold, 7-fold. 1 bet 30. 2-fold. 3-fold. 4 call. Heads up, gentlemen. 4 check. One bet 20.
Oh my God! Greedy, so greedy, man.
One bet 150. Four call. You're looking at 7's full.
Get out.
No way, I'm going pre-flop. Everybody works for that. Queen five.
7-fold.
Well, again, hope I didn't miss too much poker.
Just somehow 20 and use call.
Looks like the Raiders got the ball back.
2-bet 35.
Now, can you throw it to Devontae Adams this time, please? They've got the ball, at least what I'm seeing.
3 call. Six call.
All I'm saying is they're paying Devontae Adams a lot of money to not throw to him. 3 ways we go. 2 hearts, 663, 2 hearts. He holds him, has a heart drop.
6 check. 2 check.
There's the 3rd heart.
3 check.
King high flush for B Hold'em. Don't know that he can get any more money out of this though. Two pair on the board now. Lots of checking.
6-bet 50.
And of course Vegas comes up with a whole lot of nothing. That's sad.
It's like a fucking, you gotta end it. But I'm saying if it's you, you weren't having I didn't think
Yeah, it's a field goal, but who cares? I'm not actually a Raider fan. I just want Adams to score points. As he has not scored points. He has 1 catch. They played 27 minutes of football, and he has 1 catch.
1 fold. 2 fold.
Enough of that game for a little bit.
3-bet 30. 4 fold. 6 call. 7 fold. Heads up.
B Hold'em's 30 gets called by Bones. And that's a lot of 10s. Bones had a 10, and now he has 3 10s.
6 raise 75.
25 from B Hold'em gets raised by Bones. This 2-club board.
3 call.
And B Hold'em gonna continue here. Not believe yet. And he hits the 5. He hits the 5. 5's full of 10s now. The 2 outer getting drilled. 125 from Bones. And B Hold'em just smooth calling here. Bones needing a jack or a 10 or an 8 in the worst way. Instead, he gets a useless deuce. Oh my. And Bones probably still thinks he's good here.
6-bet 225.
225, the bet from Bones. Surely we'll see a raise from B Hold'em. And I would not at all be surprised if it was for all of the marbles B Hold'em with about 1,000 left behind. If you hold at 225, that's like pot behind, so.
3 call. Better than that.
Yeah, he just called though, he didn't raise, wow. Did not go for the raise there. I think he would have gotten paid by Bones. So he's just going to get the money that Bones offered him and no more.
Depends on it.
Bones getting off white there, I think.
You think I had like claws or something? Huh? You think I had like claws or something?
I got nowhere to
I didn't think you were calling me going all in. Because that's not. I don't think
the other ends. Never mind. Yeah, never mind.
unless you had me beat something.
Just seeking out a little more wattage from my phone, but I think I'll make it anyway. I'll just turn the game on again after halftime. No, I got an Android. Back in the day, there used to be a strip on this side, but it's no big deal.
3 call, 4 call, 6 call, 7 fold.
We're such bad influences on each other anyway. Like we're sitting here sweating our fantasy football. And there's a perfectly good poker game happening here. And we went 4 ways to this flop. These players are doing their best to torch their money for our entertainment. And we're sitting here looking at football. Bones with top pair. Is 25 getting called by Johnny, who's got the gutter. The queen pairs here. Okay, Rena's watching the voice, so she's doing other things too. She's multitasking as well. She's watching the voice. I've not actually watched that show. I'm not big on the singing competitions myself. Bones making it 15. And Bones not getting any more money from that missed straight draw. And that YouTube TV app uses a surprising amount of battery off of my phone. Sam, I'm not a new announcer. This is William Lottie, the New York Knit with you. I've been doing these shows for over 2 years now as a commentator. I've been a part of the show as a player since the very early days. So I think TCH Live's coming up on 4 years now. Bringing the poker action. NH bringing the action, waking up with ace queen, putting in that 3-bet. Kevin with an ace queen of his own. Potentially a 4-bet candidate. I think fold is the one option that's not on the table here. He does go for the 4-bet. Makes it 400. This might just end it now. Johnny Bravo, the opener with the king queen of diamonds. This is a lot of action for king queen. He is going to make the call. Chris will not do the same with 5s. MH in the worst position with ace queen offsuit of his own. And he's going to fold, so ace queen versus king queen. Johnny looking for a king or some diamonds here. As we go heads up with $1,000 in the middle already. And there's the king, king 10-9. Both players with a gut shot. Kevin's is the better one. Kevin, our 4-better, having missed this flop, apart from a gutter and a back door, has to decide if Johnny has hit this flop, which he certainly could have. Gonna go quarter pot here, 250. And This is where he finds out if Johnny has anything. He's going to find out the answer is yes, as he does make the call. He can't be that enthusiastic, though, about top pair, second kicker. The 10 pairs now. Interesting card, though. Kevin does pick up the straight flush gut shot here. Does have the only heart. Kevin checking now. That 10 not going to be so good for his range. That said, there's only one combo of 10s left with the 10 having paired on this turn. And Johnny gonna go for the bet here, makes it $500. This might be the card where Kevin considers continuing. I think most other cards, this would just be where it ends. Has to decide if that heart is good. Apart from the straight flush. No reason Johnny can't have an ace of hearts here. Kevin makes the call. To the river we go. Kevin looking for the right river. And that is not the right river. That's another 9. Johnny Bravo with 3 pair. And the best hands.
4 check.
Short deck shit again.
Check, check.
Maybe like kings and 10s. Kings and 10s are going to be good.
Johnny going to take this one. What a hand that was. Samuel, you're a new viewer. Glad to have you here. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hit that like button if you are enjoying. And if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe, get those notifications on. Find out each and every time we're on the air. TCH Live on the air probably just about every day of the week between the Austin, Dallas, and Houston locations. Playing a variety of states and sometimes some tournament content, particularly out of Dallas.
6bet 20.
Pretty much every Saturday we get that final table for you. And if you're ever around, you want to play on the show, Streamlabs just pasted in the chat the link to get on the show. We've had plenty of out-of-town players on here over the years. Well, let's have the 20 on, and just going to 3-bet Chris is open. Correction, he didn't have the 20 on. He was the raiser. Told you, Bones is an aggressive player.
10 is on.
Oh my god. Huge package.
6 fold.
Green Bay in the under.
7bet 35. 1 fold. 2 fold. 3 fold. 4 fold. Take it, take it.
Three people.
How do you feel about it?
Right now?
In general.
Much action
Yeah, I
there.
know, not very good.
He's fine. I don't think he's anything special. I think his upside is like 8th best quarterback in the league or something like that.
Not very good upside.
I mean, 8th best is what? Tua maybe? Somewhere in there.
Dak's upside is like the 14th best.
I'll say he's probably 14th best right now.
Dak?
Yeah. He's not 14th.
I mean, I think he's dead to be better
He always
than
finds a way to.
Allen, Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow.
Chris opening that ace
That
5.
many good quarterbacks.
Who do you think the 8th best in the league is?
Johnny Bravo gonna defend.
Probably like around like Jared Goff, Stafford,
3 players.
around there. That's like
As well Bones with the king queen.
you guys think eight people better?
Here's an ace.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Ace will
Mahomes,
I'd have to
increase his
Allen,
liking.
do a comparison.
Top pair.
6 checks, 7 checks.
who did I say?
Everyone
Hurts?
checks. Nobody else has anything, so good timing there.
Burrow.
6 checks.
Where's Purdy?
Chris picks up a gutter.
I mean,
Sure, Purdy, put Purdy up there. 6.
Just 'cause he's-
Like Lamar, I guess.
yeah,
maybe.
Lamar,
But even Lamar is like
40.
borderline.
Tua.
Who was like borderline.
I mean, I would take all those guys over Goff.
Why?
Take it.
Why would you take Tua over
This
Goff?
is 40 got the folds.
Really?
2, 5.
No surprise there.
What can Tua do that Goff can't do?
A lot more accurate, quicker release, makes less mistakes.
Goff has made like no mistakes in the past like year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah, he's had like 4 interceptions in the last year and a half. I'm a big Lions fan. Like, actually.
10 is
In the last 15 games, he's had like 4 interceptions.
Dak has 3 last ones. He always has them on big games. In big games, he's good at big games.
And you want to say like Jared Goff struggled for like a year or 2. Like his last year with the Rams and his first year for the Lions. Like Tua also struggled for like 2
Queen 4 versus 9
They were
Triz.
like his first 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but he never got good until he got like
Well, I guess Queen 4 is still ahead here.
like one of the like most genius guys in the league.
But not after Chris bets the 9 Triz, that he'll be a believer now.
Bump up time?
3 separate times.
Take them in.
the bump up. 30. 30 more here. Okay. 15 to 40. Okay, that's fine. I have 0 consoles assigned, so you got that in. I think it's noon right now.
Although I missed my
And on to the bomb pot.
5 more buttons. The bump up. I just don't have much else to do. I'm sure you've heard.
His upside's probably better than Cousins.
Cousins not he's like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His upside is like slightly better than Cousins.
All right, to the flops we go here. To the 2 flops.
The first year.
9, 6, 5, and
Can't get rid of your kids.
Ace King 4. Hearts on the top board.
6 check, 7 check. 1 check. Buttons and 4.
And that is a flop straight with redraws for Johnny Bravo. On the top board at least. Gutter on the bottom.
3 calls. 4 calls, 6 calls.
top 8 quarterback for like
Set of kings are beholden.
Josh Allen, Burrow, Mahomes,
Kevin with the aces.
Hurts.
What happened? Where do we...
Purdy, if you want to count him, who else you want to count him?
We have a misscan is what happens on the board there. I'm sure that'll get sorted out. The 5 pairs, which is terrible news for the straight, and the ace on the bottom. I think somebody has quad aces now. I think there might be quad aces against kings full of aces. Don't hold me to that. Oh yes, there is. Yeah, Cooler Brewing on the bottom board. Everyone checks. Hearts get there on the top.
He's slightly better than those guys. But I mean, who knows? It's first year.
And quad aces on the bottom. Don't remember if anyone has hearts. Behold'em has hearts, so Behold'em has kings full of aces, but that's only good on the other board. 4 aces for Kevin, who pots it to 240. Behold'em is going to feel like he's got scoop ability. And may well go for the raise here.
So like my question to you is like, would you rather have like a mediocre season,
I don't think Johnny Bravo was ever going to call after
DAC level,
after that hard cop there, though. So I don't think you're going to
I'm a
lose any
Steelers
value
fan. I
by
hope we
raising.
lose every fucking game.
it's like Packers fan.
I have a lot of action in the game. I hate being stuck with Pickett. He's fine. He's going to end up like
I
Ryan.
think Behold'em is
I
going
don't
to...
want to.
So many teams
We cut out the calling chips.
have like an average quarterback and they pay them for like Daniel Jones.
He is going to just call. Hopefully keep it multi-way. That's not what's going to happen, though.
Look at that quad aces on the bottom.
Quad aces.
Looking at
The good news is he's got hearts. The
It's
utterly
very
useless
tough
king's
to,
full.
Convince players in the NFL who play through pain.
It sounds like
and
Jacoby Myers did more
put
good
themselves through
things.
what they do to tank. It's not like the NBA.
Let's just
where
hope
they're
that they
like,
give the ball to the other guy in the second half.
You don't have to like put players in fake players.
Yeah, your guy got it. My guy's got to get it now.
It's
I need
quite a
12
bit
points
different
from
than
Adams.
NBA.
12.6
It's
points.
like people get hurt. Like if you have a shit offensive line, like your running backs get hurt, players get hurt.
Yeah, that was saying like
Yeah. Okay, Russ needs Adams as well, so that's good. So a lot of us here sweating Devontae Adams. Hopefully he finds productivity in the second half.
thank you. Twofold.
No, that's what I mean. I did want him to get in there. I'm thinking I'm not beating the ace up there. Didn't know you had quads, but
3-bet 30. 4 calls, 6
you
calls.
were wanting me to do that. I thought you didn't check. You know, bet 25, then you do it in your pocket.
Going for the 30 with the ace jack. Johnny Bravo defending his button. Heads up we go. 8-6 has flopped the gut shot here.
Normally you check to me.
Overs are Beholden.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Not a great board for him. Johnny gonna go for the
4-bet 35.
35 here.
I'm not a huge fan of Tomlin as an in-game coach, but like
Make the call.
he has had some absurd disasters.
And there's the
in
7,
last
but it
year.
is a
He managed to
club.
Keep winning.
Straight for Johnny
Yeah,
Bravo.
Antonio Brown around forever. He had Le'Veon
Nobody has a
Bell
club,
setting up
so
games.
that straight will be the hands.
4-bet 50.
even Big Ben was a
Yeah.
case, no?
50
He
will
just
get the
wouldn't retire.
folds.
He won't fire the offensive coordinator, who's far and away the worst.
See, no, the cat in chat here.
Thank you.
They have like 5 plays they run. And it's like a junior high school offense.
I don't know how the fuck they won the last game. That was wild.
Ravens dropped a ton of passes.
Yeah, they dropped 3 and then the
TJ Watt's still a monster.
5-10.
You see MH, the big winner.
offensive play there.
Especially because they're racing 8 out there.
Pickens is
Look at that
nasty.
straight. Look at that ace four.
Prior to saying stay healthy.
Night.
Drafted a running back in the first round, went as expected.
3-fold, 4-fold, 6-fold, 7-fold.
Who would have thought an Alabama running back would turn out to be shit in the NFL?
1-bet 30.
Name 2 good ones. Lara? He was originally Alabama. Didn't he get a
Between
Tennessee?
10 for MH. Gets the defend from
Pretty
Kevin.
good transfer. Josh Jacobs.
Ace, queen, 6 is going to be aces and 6s for Kevin. Queen for MH. Nobody has a club on his monotone. Wow.
2-bet.
Too many big blocks. Kings full and flush.
Queen for Kevin. MH making the call. King of spades, MH does pick up a gutter.
Okay.
See if Kevin goes for some more value here.
Too bad 100.
$100 gets the fold, or 200 according to the graphics. I always see $100 worth of chip out there. Either way, too much for MH.
Get there, buddy.
2 5s.
Making a first rounder or a second rounder?
First.
First. He was the only quarterback drafted that year, right?
3 fold, 4
It was Malik Willis, and Pickett was in the first. Malik Willis went in the third.
So I think he was the only quarterback drafted in the first round that year.
Nothing happening there.
I think Ritter went in the third. I think that was a Ritter year.
6 fold. 7 fold.
No,
1 bet 30.
not popping too bad.
2 fold.
I'm hoping to pop a boat, actually.
You almost did that last time.
MH deciding to raise the 10-5. Getting the job done.
Yes. Cowboys, Longhorns, was that a good weekend?
5 bet.
No. I tried doing off that really. It's like a mix you can catch with the Cowboy day.
Well, Mo the Cat, I think we have some pretty high V pips over here as well.
7 bet 35.
The even split.
1 fold. 2 fold. 3 call. 4 fold. 6 call.
Checking in the dark.
The 3 players.
635 gets called in 2 spots.
6 check.
In 5 deuce, 2 clubs.
7 bet 20.
Chris with the better pair.
3 call. 6 fold.
6 on the turn.
6 7 check.
Chris picking up the gutter. Check, check. The pair of 5s would good for Chris.
3 check. 7 checks. You're looking at 5.
And Chris wins. I like our B pips though. I like the variety of players that we often get on this show.
Thank you.
I actually think it'll be less interesting if you had 9 players who were essentially playing blindfolded, blasting with every hand. Like at some point, like it just stops being the poker game that a lot of us know and love, and it starts to become something else. Like it just starts to become pure degeneracy. And if it's pure degeneracy you want, like there's lots of content on the internet which is just even more disrespectful to money than blindfolded poker.
1 bet 30.
It's not my thing though. Like poker is a game that has a considerable skill element, and
3 fold. 4 fold. 6 fold.
people want to take that approach. And
Thank you.
That makes for some good food for thought. As we go heads up, sixes versus fives. Sixes still ahead on 9-7 deuce. Check, check. There's the king. Do we get a delayed c-bet from MH with this bigger card coming out? We don't. Kevin checks. There's another 7. Sixes win unless Kevin fires at it. Then maybe they win. They'll go check, check, and then the sixes will win. Hit pitch for Kevin, unfortunately.
That can change real quick.
Like to see me. Great look.
Six fold. 7 bet 40.
Blinds on blind action. MH
One raise, one
raising his ace. This has to say, just kidding.
Sorry?
10 is on. Did you reset it? I have cards out then.
The computer has basically just sort of choked here. That's why you're still seeing those old hands. Like that's why you're seeing that. But yeah, Mo the Cat, you're talking about the stand-up game. Sometimes it's called the Nick game. They play that up in Dallas sometimes. Like that's not something I do myself. There was an interesting discussion on Twitter the other day where there was a content creator, I think it was Andrew Nimi, who was asking like of these various gimmicks, like what's good for the game, are they all good, or are some of them good?
Not really. It was just thrown up there because of
Like I love the bomb pots, but I'm not a fan of the Nick game or the stand-up game, just because it sort of artificially forces action. There's like less of a strategic element when you have things like that. Whereas with the bomb pot, like there is actually plenty of strategy there. Like knowing how to navigate a split pot game, there's actually a lot of skill to that, as well as being able to play a multi-way pot. And honestly, playing multi-way pots will serve you well in Texas anyway, as we do see a multi-way pot happening right in front of our eyes. This all-spade board, where we're going to see Beholden take it.
hand is over. Lonnie needs Adams too. Well, I played Jerome this week, so super close. He's like favored by like 0.2 to finish out already. I was like, no. effectively be unseated. Alright, 3 fold, 4 red to third, 6 fold. 7-bet 90, 1 fold, 2 fold, 4 fold.
How you feel about the rest of the season after last night?
Huh?
How you feel about the rest of the season after?
Just randomly jumping into another conversation. Never mind
I'm
me.
a little worried because last time,
Not a lot of
2 years back,
poker happening in that hands.
You know, live 10. What is
the
it?
Cowboys, you know, I don't, exposed, we got exposed, so I can't, they're not better than, we're gonna have trouble against the Eagles.
Who? Niners?
Here we go, wild card team.
Those are pretty solid. 6-bet 35, 7
A
fold,
spoiler, the computer's going to keep gagging on hands. Sorry.
2 fold.
Well, let's enjoy these queens for now that Bones has in front of him. And
I'm more bored about that all. I feel like we played a terrible game. I feel like terrible.
and 7 deuce.
They have a 14 playoff right now. They haven't expanded. Oh, no, they haven't. The next year they're 14.
I was gonna ask you, like, you're gonna flag
Point
off
8 or 8. Point 8 or 12.
So glad I could help you there.
Texas, if they play like they're capable of playing, should be able to beat all the teams overall.
Correct, yeah, he was just
Not
watching.
as good. As they play.
I was mostly asking, like, if you guys run it out, do you think like that one loss will have an impact on?
Because if we run it out, if we do,
As an aside, the Orville is a terribly underrated show, and I can't believe they had a fight to even get a 3rd season, and they deserve a 4th season, and they deserve as many seasons as Seth MacFarlane wants to give us. That's my opinion of that show.
I mean, Oklahoma a few years ago when we did
7-bet.
I would even go as far as to say that it's better Star Trek than most of the Star Trek that's been coming out lately.
do the same thing they did to us.
So I probably did just sort of out myself as a nerd in case I hadn't done so already.
Pac-12 was surprisingly strong. Which is weird because they haven't been strong that strong for a long time.
Each other up though.
USC
Last 2 games, like, barely won.
I think that's it's hard to see 2 SEC teams because since we already beat Alabama.
Versus Pat
Although Alabama
will
is really good.
get Bones off with a better holding.
Georgia, even though they had a tough year.
I would say maybe 3x that is.
LSU, even though, and LSU
I think they're out of halftime in Vegas by now.
Oh, no. You took that the right way there. Oh, no. Oh, they caught it. One pull.
Oh, stupid Garoppolo. He tried to throw it to my guy, but then he threw it to one of the Packers. That's not what you want to do. Sadly, Adams doesn't play for Green Bay anymore. He plays for Vegas. So, yeah, the computer choked on hand number 69, and so we just sort of flew blind there. That was a small pot, and apologies again for all the tech problems.
That should be fun. I mean,
There
they also,
are tickets out to the vendor over this. I'm sure they'll get this sorted out real soon, and won't be a going issue for us.
venues, the Austin, LSU venues, it's all over different places.
Twofold.
Right now, I go to all the home games. Well, I went
Let me know in the chat if you like hearing me tilt about football. Mel approves.
Y'all didn't have fucking time to celebrate.
Anybody else with non-controversial topics for me to ramble about? Feel free to drop it in the chat.
7 check. 3 check.
If you have questions about TCH or poker or anything like that, you can feel free to drop those in the chat as well. Versus good hand gets better and better. 7's full of jacks now.
7 bet, 35.
And be quite the hero call for B. Hold'em. With just an ace that's playing, his 10 doesn't even play. Does make the fold. Chris had the best hand the entire time.
I mean, they consider him an elite quarterback, and he's really good at throwing spots. Problem is, when you watch Caleb Williams or someone like that, you can maneuver around and throw the spot.
You know what? I'm going to gamble a few more of these fake points. That's what I'm going to do.
In fact, you know, one of our backups is the Manning quarterback.
No.
And so think about one of the Manning brothers. They're in the pocket. They're not moving. That's kind of like our quarterback is right now.
Yesterday, oh yeah, because you can only sit 10 wide. 2 piece.
Yeah,
You
he's
can only
got,
sit
he can
7-handed.
spot
You do
throw
some
like crazy. Think something's off here. You're 5 and then. So, I mean, he can put it on the spot.
The word is too nice, or at least
Darn, I can't even win at this anymore. I can't even win at Streamlabs. I can't win at football. I can't win at poker. I can't win at Streamlabs.
That's what I mean. It's, okay, we got to play. It's gonna be, I'm going to put it right at the pylon. I'm going to throw it there. It's going to hit the pylon. And if at all you get bumped,
It's your job to get there, though.
If my wife were a song, it would
that's
keep
what it
losing.
feels like in your time. It's like, I'm going to put it in the spot. All right, we got to play. I mean, there's some actually he did where the crossing routes are not very nice. Not again, he wasn't good for some ridiculous number of yards. He took for a lot of yards.
One of these days, that song will be winning. When, I have no idea.
Actually, he said, to me personally, I think he took another year or two of growth.
next stand is the wrong call.
No, he's a red shirt sophomore. Yeah, he's a red sophomore.
First time. 3 fold.
Well, at least Ted won. At least Chuck won. People can win on this thing. I just can't win right now.
But yeah, he's only a red shirt sophomore though.
Well, he's making a 20 with the jacks. And he gets a bunch of callers.
4 players.
4 ways we go. 10-3 deuce.
2 check.
Gives Kevin a pair of 3s.
6 bet, 40.
Jacks are still good.
1 fold.
Those jacks are going to make the $40 bet. And nobody wants to put $40 in the pot, so Bones wins the pot.
Kevin's due for his food. Don't give it to him.
This wouldn't even be the worst fantasy beat I've ever taken. I was one time I had somebody I think he played for Detroit or something. I needed like 2 points for him in the second half. I needed 2 points from the guy, like a running back or something. And he didn't get me even a fraction of a point in the second half for really no good reason. My only path to victory today would have involved somehow deciding that it was a good idea to play 2 tight ends.
Give you the 8, so that was easier for you to pitch the 8.
Generally not a good idea.
His target's 8.
Palm pot.
Too much usually pitched over there.
10, 6, 5, Jack 7, 7, rainbows all around.
7 bet, 40.
10, 10, 7's pretty good for Chris W. Top set and trips.
4 fold. 6 fold.
Probably a little too good. He bet 40 and nobody wants to play with him.
I like to see big putts.
A little bit too scoopable there.
Only on the ball pot.
Got it.
Per the graphics, MH and B Hold'em are big winners this
Just
season.
easier for me to just pitch
The MH number is legit. I don't know about B Hold'em. There were
That way you're
some
not having to
tech
reach
issues
it.
earlier that ate a pretty big pot
He's
action
trying to throw 2
between MH and B Hold'em early in the show where
10's left.
the board got very coordinated. MH had flopped a set and he got 3 streets
No, bullshit.
from B Hold'em.
Now we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It's gonna take me a hand or two.
He loves putting money when
6 fold. 7 fold.
Professional ball pot player.
When that moved.
That's getting pricey.
1 bet 30, 2 fold. 3 fold.
Professional ball pot pot builder.
4 call. Heads up.
Ace Jack 4,
Jack.
2 spades on this heads up flop. Johnny Bravo with top
1
pair.
bet 90.
MH putting out the C bet, $90. Over pot, bit chunky. Johnny, of course, going nowhere, holding top pair. Not a great kicker. It's certainly good enough to get to the turn, which is a 9.
4 check.
No help for MH. There's check 2 once again. He's going to check back. He might just be giving up now. Another jack on the end. I think he's really going to give up. The middle card pairing going to be better for the straddle defender / big blind
1 check.
defender.
Showdown.
Check, check, and it's not the jack, it is the ace. That will be the winner for Johnny Bravo. So he collects another pot.
And it's nothing against anybody else, but I just feel like when you're here, you only get mad at certain players. 10's left. Oh, Richard. To be fair, I think that was at
I think he's on the straddle with those deuces. Kevin with the
2 bet
suited
35.
ace.
3 fold, 4 fold.
Ace of 35. Bones will defend. He's going to go duck hunting.
6 check.
No ducks this time. Ace, queen, 5. Kevin with top pair.
2 bet 25. 6 fold.
Kevin taking it there.
That wouldn't be. 10's left. 1 fold. 2 fold.
We've made it into the last hour of the show.
4 fold.
Sometimes known around here as power hour.
Grab the 5. Okay, you should.
Pot's got a little bit
I didn't
bigger.
see it.
His
Sorry.
Action gets a little bit spicier.
Fair enough.
Players wanting to
10's on.
get unstuck before the
Wait, what
show
was it? Maybe
ends.
that what?
They can keep playing after the cameras go off if they like.
5-2.
Little better, but not playable.
2-fold, 3-fold. Phone's made 35.
Looks like maybe we don't have Strataline, or the computer screwed up again, one or the other.
One call.
And Jack 7-4. And we're playing points again because the computer peaked again. Sorry about that. Bobby Filet wondering what day does TCH Houston stream? They stream on Thursdays for sure, if I remember correctly. So we actually have a second YouTube channel. Texas Card House is the name of the channel. They are, I believe, streaming the 136 PLO game right now as we speak. You can go check that out as well. I think the archives end up on this TCH Live channel as well. Yeah, Texas Card House on YouTube. That is also a sub. And we sometimes have content on there out of Austin or Houston most often. The Austin 1-3's been over there lately. And I believe Houston is streaming a game right now. I don't know if they've got a booth for that one or not. I actually don't even know the Houston crew, to be honest. Don't know those guys so well, but yeah, definitely check that out. Like I said, 7 days a week. I mentioned that a little earlier. Pretty much 7 days a week we're streaming out of one location or another, be it here in Austin, Dallas, or Houston. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to both TCH Live and Texas Card House
I wish I
on
could play
YouTube.
like that every day.
Get all the cards.
Imagine how nice it would be to play like that every day.
No, you're fine. I just like I said, when the screen starts to pop up, I'm like,
He's Jack for B
3-bet
Holden.
30, 4-fold, 6-fold.
Johnny Bravo, not a believer in the 9 triz.
8-bet,
Yeah,
90.
Chris with Kevin. Chris with King 7. Words are hard, as Aaron would say. Image with an ace and a king. That's a good hand. It's been 3 hours. I'm getting a little loopy here. 250 from MH. I think there's a reasonable chance that this just clears it out. Ace-Jack offsuit would be pretty ambitious, even having position.
3-fold.
King 7 also finds the muff. And MH takes it down. He had the aggression, and he had the best hands.
What's up? How much are we going in for? 5500. 55?
And
Yeah, that's him. He just went up to 55.
Yeah.
that'll get the job done. I do think we have a new player joining us in seat 9.
Did you want to buy the button, sir? Or wait?
Assuming that's right, I don't know.
Who we got in seat 9?
Oh, yeah, you gotta wait when that's right. You can't buy it. Sorry.
You haven't rebought
It'll just be out.
Ruse. Okay, Ruse in seat 9.
You might even have 60.
An unfamiliar face, but we're going to get familiar with him. Going to make ourselves
That's
new
why I said
friends.
short. It's like one of the streets of Dixon. It had the real
The entire hand you did it. Who's the next black out?
For the deuce of 7. Is that running today? The deuce of 7. Is that game running today?
Four-fold.
Tell me you're in here.
I've been talking about deuce to 7. You know, deuce to 7 single draw usually runs on Wednesdays around here as a cash game.
8 raise.
We can get a couple tables of that going. You wouldn't see me in there when I can make it in. We had a single draw tournament yesterday here at Austin. That was a good time. And there'll be another one on the 22nd. TexasCardHouse.com for all the details there. No limit to the 7th single draw. Such a fun game. Doesn't get nearly as much love as it deserves.
Anyway, for me, it felt like he counted everything but that last one.
Did a little bit when they ran it here. I want to say for
Let's take that one.
He's got more than everybody. You're right. Doesn't matter.
I just go to your left. I want to say
Depends on.
It's an interesting place. I've never been here.
Oh, sorry. So you haven't been.
I mean, still the big winner here.
Target's gonna be right here. You're sitting in seat 9, so I'm pretty much gonna pitch them right here. Just make sure whenever you look at the board, you see both of them light up. You should be fine. You can pull back. Just try not to pull all the way back, because sometimes you can take them off. You're gonna hear me
Bonus
announce.
making it 35 with the Jack 10.
6 bet 35, 8 fold, 9 fold, 1 fold. You're gonna hear me say everything.
Or no PLO.
Kevin flatting with the 8s.
What is those big ones usually like this weekend or?
3 call. 4 call.
The private team's on Tuesday. Like it's semi-private.
Holden getting in there. Johnny Bravo getting in there.
Mainly Friday and Saturday, yeah.
4 play.
Queen 10-6, 2 diamonds. That is top pair for Hold'em.
What time is it right now?
Pair of 10s for Bones.
3 check, 4 check, 6 check.
Make that trip 10s for
I
Bones.
matched you so I can double you up.
2 check.
That's all I was thinking.
Yep.
They're right on my right.
3 bet 65. 4 fold.
He holds him making it 65, and Bowen's going to go for the raise now. Before this board gets any scarier, it could certainly straighten up. It could put the third diamond out there. I'm going to make the call. Nine on the end. Trips are good for Bones.
Showdown. Queens and 10s. We're looking at
Check, Bones not seeking any more value.
Take it. Ten's on live turn. 8 fold.
We're going to see who's put some money in. Welcome to the game.
2 fold.
Makes it 30 with the ace-10 offsuit. He holds him with the 4-3, going to give him a welcome in the form of a 3-bet makes it $90. Ace 10 offsuit, see how he feels about that. Not so great. Offsuit hands, not so much fun. Doesn't flop quite as well in terms of boards where you can continue comfortably. Jack for Kevin, makes it 75. Beholden gonna come along. So Johnny Bravo. King Jack 6-6. And nobody else gonna join in the fun. So we'll go 3 ways here. Ace Jack 3. Beholden would be better of the jacks. Everybody checks. Here's the case jack. Kevin and Beholden with trips now. I think this is where it's going to start to escalate. Kevin. Beholden has him picked. Makes the call. I think this is as far as the 6s are going to go here. Kevin's going to need a queen to win it, or he's going to need a board pair to chop it. See if he can find one of those. He cannot. 7 of spades on the ends. Brings in a backdoor flush. Don't know how concerned either of these players will be there. Now we saw Beholden fill up in a very disguised manner a bit earlier and then not raise for value in position. We'll see if he decides to apply some aggression this time around. Or 10 in the middle. Kevin going to go not quite half pot. Beholden just going to call again. Beholden once again missing some value. Does turn over the winner.
You want any of this? Pick it. Take it. Give it a shuffle. Every hand? You know, but if you win a hand, you gotta win back. Is that how it works? Everybody knows the next time. I gotta see this. Got a 10-20 on.
2, 5, 10, 20.
Seat open, table 9.
2-4.
Beholden just folding the deuces.
8 fold,
You don't see that often around here.
9 call.
GTO charts say that you can fold deuces from early position. They are somewhat vulnerable to getting set over set.
3 players.
Who's the top pair here?
9 check. 1 check.
Eight of spades on the turn. Bless you. I'll sneeze. Spade draws for Ruse and MH. Owen's still with top pair and gutter.
Played at 175.
$175 from MH.
6 call. 9 plus.
This one's calling, the other spade draw gets out of there.
6 check.
4 on the end. Owen's gonna hold.
1 check, shut out. You're looking at 2 for jack.
Check, check. Bones takes that one.
Some white space?
So this is jack. Take it. Carries on. So that player can use that player string on.
Another hand of 2-5-10 coming your way. It's a miracle Devontae Adams actually caught a pass. No touchdown or anything, but it had to be a good 15 or 20 yards. That's progress. That's progress. Now, if we can just do that a few more times, we'll be in business here. And I think the computer dropped the ball. MH has queens in the straddle.
125.
It's going to catch itself up. Bones opened the 4-3 to 35. Ruse puts in an unfortunately timed 3-bet to 125 with the Jack 10.
One raise 375.
And MH putting in that 4th bet up to 375. Back to Ruse. That'll be the end of that. Some more 2-5-10 here. Again, be sure and check out the even bigger one down in Dallas the last week of October. Starting flights the 25th through the 28th. 2 flights a day, $250,000 guarantee. 8% move on to day 2, 12% get paid. TexasCardhouse.com or Poker Atlas for all the details there. It was a big one last month. I'm sure it'll be nice and big again this month. JTMNY wishes he could have had Al Bundy on his fantasy football team. Well, if you had George Kittle, he came pretty darn close yesterday. Didn't score 4 touchdowns in one game, just scored 3 touchdowns, which is still a lot. How many of you expected me to actually understand that reference? If I didn't have Brock Purdy, I'd have been really hosed. At least those touchdowns were somewhat mitigated. My opponent, Doug, did have Kittle. MH. Got a bet 40 here. Kevin actually has a hand, though. MH doesn't have a hand, but Kevin has a hand. And yes, the front door speeds came in, but we can't full top pair. Adams caught the ball, but he came up like 2 yards short of the touchdown. Kevin won that pot, by the way. I really wish he'd have just gotten the 2 more yards and we get the touchdown. We're not even sweating this anymore. Green Bay containing him pretty well. $15 more minutes to get how many points? How many points do I need now? Now that he's decided to wake up and play. I need 6.1 more points. It's a PPR league. I get a point every catch. And Johnny going to catch himself some red hooks here. Unfortunately, in an unstraddled pot. Just a traditional 2-5, he makes it 25.
3 players.
874 is going to give Kevin the pair plus gut shot, MH the open ender. A jack on the turn. It would be absolute chaos here. 30 from Johnny, the over pair.
1 raise, 110.
MH, put the draw, put the no immediate showdown value, goes for the check raise, makes it 110. Kevin pair plus gutter is going to be feeling weird here. He doesn't have nothing, but certainly doesn't seem like he has a big enough something.
2 call.
He'll make the call. Jacks won't be loving this. But he is going to take another card. Pray that he doesn't hit a set. He does not. The 6 will complete the straight for MH, and it will be 2 pair for Kevin. So chaos card. Maybe a little less chaotic just because it is 4 to a straight. Any 5 does make a straight here.
One bet, 125.
MH, our razor, haven't gotten the very best turn card in the deck. We'll make it 125. Kevin going to make the call with his 2 pair. This was not a good turn for Johnny and his jacks. He's going to make the fold. Ten on the end. The straight gets straighter. This might hurt MH's action as any 9 now makes a straight as well. I don't think 2 pair is going to be putting any more money in here.
One bet, 550.
MH gonna go big here, 550. I think he's targeting a 5. I think he's decided he's not getting paid by anything else but a 5. And he's probably right. Kevin does make the folds. Looks like Josh Jacobs came up with the touchdown there. And you gotta get the ball back. You gotta get it to Adams a few more times. Really wish you would have found those 2 yards to get to the end zone. Looks like we're heading for a bomb pot. Russell dealt out the 4 cards to each player and 2 flaps coming. 8-7-5 all hearts. Jack 6-3 rainbow. Who's got what now? He holds him with a set of 6s. Middle set. King high hearts for MH. I think those are the best hearts. Makes it 35. On the bottom, just some back doors. Heavy hearts to continue without a set or a flush. He holds him with the aforementioned set. Does make a call. We've seen him willing to call some of these more one-way type hands. Johnny Bravo getting in there as well. King 9, 8, 5. 2 pair on top. 3 and a 4. What does that do? Still a set of 6s on the bottom.
3 check, 4 check.
Still a flush on top.
1 check.
Check, check. Three and a 5, the 3 pairs on the bottom. And then nobody's made a straight with that 5 on the bottom. It's still the set and the flush against all odds. Those hands hold up, chop it up.
You get a straight to the 6 on the bottom board, 62 straight. King high flush top board, 3 no friend.
That set of 6s is actually straight, as Russ just pointed out. The 6 deuce does make a straight. He holds him though, still winning either way. The set would have been good too.
Thank you, thank you. All right, 2 5s. Yeah, it was just, it happened to be basically like 6 bet 45, 8 fold, 9 fold.
He's opening the ace-4, suited, 35, and MH flatting with the 3s. Kevin with the king 10 of hearts. Suits dominated. This does feel like a squeeze. Because that's the way he's going here.
2 bet 175.
175 the price. More hearts for B Holden. He's going to let those go. Suited ace wheel. I think Bones can go any direction here, he feels like. has chosen to make the call. I think fold is the least likely of the options. 4-bet it every once in a while. I have a pretty clear idea of where you're at after this flop, though.
3 players.
We go 3 ways. Ace 10 7. Top pair for Bones, middle pair for Kevin. Nothing doing for MH. $150 from Kevin. Bones going nowhere. He's got top pair and he's got a backdoor. That's plenty in hand. MH, I believe, gets out of there. And we're going to wait for the computer to catch up real quick. That's another ace. That's 3 aces for Bones. He did not fold. That's a little misclick there. We'll get that fixed. There it is. Kevin might be realizing that this 10's not looking so hot, and he is in fact drawing dead. I think we go check, check, and I don't know what our river is. Sorry, I haven't got a river for you guys. I guess it hasn't scanned. It's a check, and
2 check.
okay, Bones has quads again. At least that's what the graphic tells us. I don't have a camera shot to prove that, but Bones apparently does have quads, and Kevin has a boat. Ace is full of 10s. And I bet could actually get paid here if he doesn't get too crazy. Looks like 700. Almost full pot. Saying, I have an ace or I have nothing. Only 1 ace left in the deck, but an ace is a viable holding the way this pot is played out. Bones opens and then called the 3-bet. He can have a good ace. Or an ace wheel. Tough spot for Kevin. He does lay the boat down.
I said 6 bet 7.
Oh, okay.
Bones with quads twice in one night. That's the thing. That's where you're living the blessed life.
Standing up right now. I got live stream. No, I just barely go far. I didn't know how to do that properly. One bet 30. Yeah, you're gonna keep trying. She's gonna force it later. 1 bet 30. 2 call.
MH opens queen jack on the cutoff.
3 call, 4 fold.
Kevin B holds in his Bones. Whoa, getting in there.
Checking the dark.
4 players. First player is checking in the dark.
Check.
6 check.
7-6. Somehow everybody misses here.
Check.
How does that work? And the 4 is of little use to anyone. Like Bones and B Holden both have gutters.
2 check.
Oh, look, a 5. We got straights now. Bones with the top end, B holds him with the tail ends. Bones will make it 50. He's probably getting paid here. Unless he doesn't. Wow. B holds him doesn't even want to get curious for 50 bucks. Once again, Bones can't get a customer when he gets there.
You got a 10-20 on it. 10-20 on it.
10 and the 20 going on here.
It'll read in a second. It's just taking lag. Yeah. 1 fold, 2 fold. 3-bet 55. 4 fold.
55 from B holds him. He's got the 3s again.
8 call.
Chris calling from the $10 straddle with the ace-7 off. Bruce with the 10-4 off, if we're to believe the scanner, and oh my, $280 raise from Ruse. He's decided he's had enough sitting around and waiting. The 10-4. This is the hand that we're playing. And B Hold'em's going to have to fold the 3s again. Very familiar feeling. And Ace-7's going to have to say never mind. Kevin with the esteemed Zola, the 8 of spades, 8 of hearts. How big is this open going to be? It's going to be $65.
4 fold, 6 fold. 8 fold, 9 fold.
Johnny calling with the 6-5. MH and the straddle. Between Jack and the call. 3 ways we go. Pair of jacks for MH. That'll be the best hand. $60 from Kevin. Johnny gets out of there with his nothing. I think MH will be sticking around. Does have a pair and backdoor straight draw. Does hold the 60. Turn we go. Heads up. Here's the deuce. I'm going to check for MH. Will Kevin bet again? He will not. So the river we go. There's an ace. MH will be best if he gets the showdown. Not a guarantee that that happens, though.
2 check, shut up.
Check, check. Kevin will not fire again. 5-10 coming up.
Coming here.
Yeah.
5-10. Two-fold. Three-fold. 4-bet 30. 6-fold, 8-fold, 9-fold.
Johnny going to open up here. Queen 6.
1-fold. Heads up.
MH going to defend with the ace deuce. And going to get rewarded with not one but 2 aces. That makes 3 in total for MH. Johnny Bravo with the heart draw. It's ace 9 flop. Continues for 35, and MH going to make a call. Trips, but no kicker for him. Make that a boat for him. Ace is full of 9s. This kills all the action. Check, check, and deuce of hearts. Good news for Johnny is he has a flush. The bad news is it is a double-paired board, and a boat is definitely a possibility. MH goes for the 90. Johnny flicks in a call chip. Sees that he is in fact dealing with aces full of 9s and deuces. MH making a second meaningless boat on the end. That would have been a lot more fun as a turn card. I wish the river and the turn would have come the other way. All right. Russell going to step out of the box. Going to have a viewer change here late in the proceedings. See who's going to take us home tonight. Looks like Rob's going to take us home tonight. Poker Monkey rolling, they're not low. Boo. Rena, Mitchell, Frank, hey Griff, Poker Monkey. I feel like you're all here primarily for the Streamlab points. I got a very devoted group of Streamlab rollers. All right, $10, 4 cards, 2 boards. As we head down the stretch here, TCH Live Austin. Boy Mladdy with you here in the booth. Mel pressing buttons on the other sides. Rob now pressing or pitching the cards. Jack 7-4 with diamonds. Ace 3-3 with clubs. Set of 7s for ruse. MH with a straight redraw. Also has a diamond draw. Jack pairs and then a king on the bottom. I think they check through there. 7's full of jacks. Waiting to get my graphics back. Yeah, 7's full of jacks. And no, Jack's full of 4s for Kevin. Jack's full of 4s for Kevin. Boat over boat situation. He does pot it up to 70. Chris making the call. He's turned to gutter on the bottom. And I think our 7's full made the call. King and an 8. Okay, so it's going to be Kevin and Ruse dropping it, I believe. Aces and 3s with a queen for Ruse on the bottom. Jack's full of 4s for Kevin on the top. Not how Ruse thought he'd be winning, as we check through.
Professional ball pop player.
He has Jack 4 down there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Jack 4.
He has Jack's full. He has Jack 4 for Jack's full.
Jack's full of fours. Yeah, no scoop. Appreciate the honesty there. When you table a hand, like at Showdown, if you properly table your hands, you are entitled to the pot if you've won the pot. And that's 100% the right move. It is everybody's goal, everybody's duty. Like once a hand is tabled, to make sure that the pot is awarded to the correct hand at Showdown. That's in fact one of the rules. Like if you look at any of the tournament rule sets out there, like WSOP or TDA,
Wasn't me.
cards speak at Showdown, and
It was another dealer, by the way. Wasn't me.
that's for us to all figure out. And it got figured out, and we got that pot correctly chopped. You get so focused on one part of the hand that you forget about the other part of the hands sometimes. I've been guilty of that too.
Do that slow.
What's that?
We do that slow. Sure.
What do you mean slow?
Just do it again.
Blank.
Again.
Learn how to do it?
See it try. See it try. We got to show. We got to see it. I'll get it.
30.
Absolutely not.
Johnny's 30 gets 2 calls. 2 ways we go. Ace 10 7. Couple of spades that nobody has. Kevin's ace is slightly better than Chris's. Johnny with a gutter. Queen of spades. Actually, Kevin does have the 5 of
Give
spades.
my attempt. We got to see yours.
I don't want to disturb the
So,
pot.
emergency spade draw for him. See if we get that far. Johnny's 40 gets called by Chris. This feels less good for Kevin now. His kicker not playing anymore. Nor does Chris's. Kevin's going to have to fold. Johnny needs a 9. But Johnny gets an 8. Might win it with a bet, though. He's going to give it a shot. 120 the bet. Puts a lot of pressure on a weak ace, which is exactly what Chris has. Straights and flushes available. Chris's kicker not even playing. Chris makes the call, and it will be the correct call. The emergency top pair. How about that?
Thank you.
Be sure to join us tomorrow for the big game from Dallas. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, get those notifications turned on. Find out every time we're on the air across Austin, Dallas, and Houston. As we head down the stretch this evening, a few hands left for you all.
Even I have a symbol.
I think the computer had the button wrong there. Beholden with the ace king. That seems right. Should have straddled. Instead, he's just stuck making it 30. Chris and MH calling. Kevin calling. Ace king, ace 10, king 4 and 5s. Who you got? Eight, 6 deuce, 2 hearts. That's the flop of everyone's dreams. 5s are ahead. B holds him with the backdoor hearts.
3 bets 40.
40, the bet from B Hold'em. That's an image. Get out of there. Kevin calls. How about a 4 of hearts for spiciness? 4 of hearts. King of hearts is less spicy. B Hold'em now with the entire world. He has top pair and he has the heart draw. And Kevin is drawing to 1 out. I don't think B Hold'em's going to get paid here, whatever he bets. 175, that's going to be too big for 5s. Kind of think about it. I just don't see how he can, though. It's not a strong enough hand. One more look. Gonna let him go. Too cool.
Say it again.
RS actually saying hi from Indy.
2 more hands, win the limit.
I've been there a couple of times for the 500. That's as much as I've been in Indiana. And we head to the penultimate hands of the evening. Play this hand, and we're going to play a bomb pot after this hand, and then we'll call it an evening. See how much fun we have in the meantime. 2, 5, 10, 20, 40, 80.
160's all yours.
160 max straddle. As I said at the beginning of the show, you can re-straddle all the way to the button. We've just had that happen. 2, 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160.
Oh, there we go. Big down, big down.
Kevin with ace jack suited is all in for 1,400, which is a perfectly good move. Sub 10 big blinds. Ace jack suited is really awesome.
4 players in the hand. Top.
See if anybody has anything approaching respectable. Unfortunately not.
Free money.
Kevin gonna pick up an easy $315.
Bomb pot.
So on to the bomb pot to finish us out this evening.
9. That's outside the shop. 9. 3.
I'm not going to win this fantasy game, am I? Can I come up just short? Can I come up 2 yards short on that one catch? King 10, 6, 2 spades. Ace, King 4, 2 clubs. Who's got what now? play for Johnny Bravo. Kings and sixes on top. Kevin's 50. Gets 2 calls. Nine in the ace pairing, so Kevin now with trip aces. Johnny with a set of 9s on top, and that'll be the best hand on top from the look of it. On the bottom, he's got, I'm not actually sure if these graphics are right here for Johnny's hands, to be honest. I'm not sure how a king beats trips. Kevin potting it 220. He has the trips on the bottom. And he's got a straight draw up top. So some scoopability, so he believes. Johnny makes the call. To the rivers we go. I suspect the numbers will sort themselves out here. At 8 and see the other one. That's the 3. The 3 ends up on the bottom. I believe it's a set of 9s. And it's the trip aces. Check, check, and yeah, so the 8 and the 7 were the rivers, and I think we're chopping it here. And trip aces and the set of 9s. That does feel like a chop. And that's how we'll end it this evening. Blah. It's been a long night. I can't even talk anymore. I'm going to chop these chips up one last time. And we're going to run through these stats real quick. Going to thank you all again for watching. Be sure to hit like on the way out. Be sure to subscribe. Find out every time we're on the air.
Yeah, that was it.
Get one more look. MHR big winner tonight. B Hold'em. Not sure if that's the right number for him or not. He's definitely had his ups and downs tonight. Certainly doesn't make it boring. So on behalf of everyone here, our dealers, Carly, Russ, and Rob, producers Mel, Kristen, and David. I'm William White, the New York Net, wishing you a good night. Be sure and join us again tomorrow from Dallas.